1, go!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gamer Guardians podcast. I'm your host, Danny Martinez, the Drunken Guardian, and this is episode 95 of the podcast. Thanks for joining us. And today we got a full house finally. We got Randy the Ragnarok back on camera.
Hello.
And Boneless Bones, Kevin, he went away, I think.
Yes.
But he's
Nah,
here.
I'm right here.
Okay.
I'm right here.
And he's here. And then Danny, the Sober Guardian.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
So welcome,
Can I redo my
everybody.
intro?
Redo your intro? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? It's your man, Boneless Bones,
It's
and we finally fucking back with a full house.
Yeah, right?
How's it going, guys?
It's been a crazy summer.
It has.
Oh, man.
Not Guardian Summer.
Guardian Summer. So today we got two topics to talk about. Some tidbits of news here and there coming out about the Last of Us remake that's coming out for the PS5. That's a PS5 brand new from bottom to top remake of Last of Us that's been announced and people are talking about it. And we're going to talk about whether games like these are cash grabs or not, and we're also going to talk about Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy 16. Everyone's waiting out for it, and it's I guess it's supposedly as linear as the like 15 and Final Fantasy Lightning and a bunch of the other newer Final Fantasy games tend to be a little bit more linear now. So a lot of people are saying, whether Final Fantasy series should be open world or not, or should it be as linear and just more focus on story. So we'll talk about that as well. But now that we have a full house, though, I wanted to talk to you guys and find out what you've been up to, what you guys been playing. Randy, especially you, because I know we had Kevin last week or 2 weeks ago. But Randy, we haven't seen you in a while.
I've been playing with myself.
Solely?
The Gay Station 5, actually.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
One player only?
One player only. Yeah,
Single
yeah,
player.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I do like single player games, as we all know, right? So I think that's like the most immersive game that there is. No, I've just been playing Final Fantasy as of late. Final Fantasy 10, not 10-2, because before the show, Sober was like trying to call me out for playing dress up.
It pops up on the PS.
Is it like the
It's 10-2?
It's the combo version?
Yeah. Because it was included with that PlayStation membership thing that gives you the whole like catalog and whatnot.
Yeah.
So because it was free, I was like, dude, fuck it, why not? Like I'm not gonna spend the money to fucking buy the game. I've honestly just been playing. Well, I also did play a bit of Concrete Genie. It's really cute, but I feel like I would have to like actually want to devote my time to like really play it, and I can't do split custody with 10 and Concrete Genie. I did also download both Spider-Man games, the Morales and just Sony's or whatever.
What's the Spider-Man game?
The Miles Morales and also
okay. I thought I heard you say Morales.
I did download Dad of War and what else? I don't remember what else.
That's a free one now too, right?
Yeah. Figured I would do that one as well. Seeing how
Did you like Dad of War?
I haven't even played Dad of War. I just have it installed, and it's like every time I get to like wanting to try it out, I just get sidetracked really easily. So eventually I'll get to that. I'll probably get to Horizon before I get to Dad of War, if I'm being quite honest.
I will go with Dad of War first. Dad of War is an easy beat. Like,
It can be long though if you're grinding for like all the collectibles and the Valkyries and all that shit.
Yeah, I saw a video of like the last Valkyrie, and I think I'd have fun with that.
Yeah, it's challenging for sure.
Right pain in the ass. Yeah. I've also been playing Borderlands, the first one.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, did you even try Tiny Tina yet?
Not at all.
Oh jeez.
I haven't even gotten it. I haven't bought it.
Because we were all supposed to play together.
Yeah, and then we all like, yeah.
I mean, me and Danny been playing. Well,
That
not
fighting
not
scene.
not recently, but we played when it first came out, and then
Yeah, when it came out.
we played like the first the free DLC that came out too. We played a little bit of that, and that was
Oh, they
pretty
have
much it.
DLC also?
Yeah, they got a new paid
3 of
DLC
them.
that just released too. Yeah, yeah. There's
I
quite
bought the season
quite a
pass.
bit.
Yeah. They had 1 free and 2 paid. Actually, this is gonna be a third paid thing. There's a shitload of them came out.
Wow.
It came out really quick, and people were complaining about it actually, because they're saying that all the DLCs are the same,
Yeah.
and it should have just been part of the game. Because
Have they
it feels
played
like
any of the
something that's been out.
Borderlands games?
Yeah. Who me?
No, I'm saying have like these people that are complaining,
Yeah,
like have they
yeah.
played any of the Borderlands games? Like it's all the same shit, honestly. Like I love the series, don't get me wrong, but
But
sometimes
usually
playing the
there's
DLC
a
feels
decent
very
like
repetitive.
yeah, but usually at least there's a decent story to go with them. There's like no story in these things. I mean, it has like a thing they've been doing lately, especially in like Destiny, like those art style little story things about a dragon or whatever
Mm-hmm.
in the
Yeah.
beginning, and that's it. Like, and then you have like,
Just go into the game.
and then it's basically just a trial type, little cheesy puzzles that are exactly the same, and some like all three of them are all three different expansions.
Hey,
And then you fight the boss at the end, and then once you do it once, because it's more powerful every week, and so more weapons and more guns pop up every week. But once you do it once, then in the main trial thing that you do, the main grinding area, all those weapons could drop now drop in the main trial thing. So now you just grind the main trial thing instead of doing the DLC. So you just do it once and you just don't play it at all.
hey,
So it's like no incentive to keep playing it.
Randy. Speaking of like
Yeah.
PSN stuff, I checked to see if I'm right on this, but I think Cult of Lamb came out. I know you've been wanting to play that.
Yeah.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember when the release date was supposed to be, honestly. I'm gonna check on my phone.
Because
They've
I,
been
Also,
I saw it on
Here.
PSN and I put it on my wish list, and I'm pretty sure like
August
whenever
11th.
you see the actual price on there, that means like it's rated to buy.
These are the trophies for Final Fantasy X, not
Yeah.
10-2. Sober.
That's because he already platinum the other ones for 10 too.
Yeah. See, God damn it. You've been watching my feed, haven't you? What was it? Cult of the Lamb?
Cult of Lamb, yeah.
August 11th.
Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah.
No, it says it's available next month.
Oh yeah, we're in July. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
Pre-order
Okay.
it. Only playable on PlayStation 5. Lick my balls.
Really? I thought it was a PC thing too,
No,
or Steam thing too.
Steam. Says Steam.
Oh, well, I mean, for PlayStation, it says only playable on PlayStation 5.
Mm.
Of course, if you're on
I'll
PlayStation.
check Steam.
Yeah. Kevin, what about you? What you been playing?
Oh man, I've been a hoe to Dark Souls 1. I've been playing that game nonstop for the last 2 weeks.
Sure.
The original. Oh yeah, you
No,
don't have the PS5. Yeah,
Matt.
that's right. Yeah.
No, I don't even have a PlayStation anymore.
Oh
Bills
jeez.
Yeah, so I had to sell that.
Oof.
I've been playing that. I'm gonna have to owe you guys shots. I've been playing fighters because the new patch came out. So like everybody's like weird. Like Cooler has like a full screen. He's always had like a full screen low. That's a sweep. Now
Mhm.
that's like it's like a off the ground, so it can pop them back up and you can continue the combo. I'm like, oh, this is like playing Marvel 3. Been playing that. Been playing Dark Souls a lot, and I've been playing Fire Emblem. Not Warriors. Well, Warriors 1 and Three Houses, so I could finally play Three Hopes, which is like the new Warriors game.
So
It's
like
actually really fun.
sequel.
Not really. It's more like a what the hell is it? Because the sequel will mean you will have the same characters and they'll continue on from the story. But it's just like the new Fire Emblem, like the Three Houses as a Muso game. That's about it.
Oh, okay.
So Kevin, again, we haven't been talked in a while, so I think like, when I've been on, you haven't been. Whatever. Anyway, have you seen that? They had that big tournament like 3-4 months ago, that fighting tournament where it's like
Oh, you're talking about fuck, I forgot. Heat Wave was one that just passed. And you're probably talking about CEO.
Yeah. And they had like all these, obviously every single fucking fighting game, and like even like older fighting games, right? But one of them has made me laugh. I saw because I'm like I never seen game footage for the Power Ranger game.
Mm.
And I'm like, well, let me see how high. I heard this game is broken. That's all you hear
yeah.
about it, broken, right?
Oh yeah.
So I was let me watch how high level fucking people in tournaments play fucking Power Rangers, and it was
Fucking
just so
stupid.
hilarious. Every single
Stupid.
character that they played, and I must have seen like 9 different characters. It wasn't just like they just picked the same one, but all 9 of them had a zero to death.
Every
So all
character in
you're
the game
watching
Yeah.
is
all
Todd.
you're watching is waiting for somebody to hit somebody, either with their tag guy or the main guy. And the second they hit you, it's 0 to death. And it was like this, like why even play? Like you get hit, you just put the
Top
controller down,
tier.
you're done. You
Nah,
know?
I played that, and that was like the first like fucking going to not my Twitch, my TikTok. That was the first video I posted, and that was the first Todd I actually learned. Like 7, 8 in the morning. That's when me, Jay, and Randy was playing Power of the Grid. And it was like, why do you keep picking RJ? I was like, he's fun. And then I found the Todd. I was like, oh my god,
RJ
this
is the
game is
purple guy, right?
yeah. RJ is the the Wolf Ranger. But
The
God, that game
Wolf
it's
Ranger.
yeah.
I,
Yeah,
Uh
they
the
have every
so
fucking
here's a
range.
little fun thing about the
Crazy.
Wolf Ranger.
Ranger.
Rangel. So I feel like anything that he connects can just link into whatever the fuck he wants. Like you go from low
Every
to
fucking
high or like
character, every
it's
character seemed like that. Every fucking character. It was like
Red
didn't
Ranger
matter what it is.
especially.
If they hit a fucking little download thing, all of a sudden they're doing a fucking never-ending combo, like
Yep.
little jab, a
S-
never-ending combo.
So
Hit
people
twice,
love this.
never-ending combo.
Some
Every
people
single
love
little
this
thing.
game
Yeah.
because it's broken.
No, people love it
Yeah.
because it brings you back to when Marvel 2 it gives you like a little
Oh,
taste of what
it's
Marvel 2 is. It's that game is fucking insane and
maybe.
yeah,
It's
no,
just
because it
yeah.
it's great because the thing I like about Battle for the Grids is that the game feels like a just a scramble fest. Whatever hit you hit, they're dead. That's it. If you can
Yeah.
get a combo off, they're fucking dead. But then the thing is you have to execute it. Like the easiest, I would say the easiest
I
one
mean,
that I found out was Jason, the Red Ranger.
yeah.
Like it's just hit, shoot, hit up, shoot,
Yeah.
hit up, shoot.
I mean,
I'm
it
like,
is.
bro,
There are like it's very skillful. They're all very. It looks like they're all very skillful
oh yeah,
combos.
of course,
Not only like
of
they're
course.
like bashing 2 buttons, like
Yeah.
up, down, whatever. They're not doing that. They are doing series of combos, but it just made me laugh that because mostly when you play these fighting games, there might be
Mhm.
one character who's broken who has a never-ending combo like that. Like an Iron Man or whatever it is. So they're not allowed to pick him, or they're not allowed to keep doing the move. Like I think that's like a rule on one of them. Like you can't do a series of
Infinite.
combos.
You
Yeah, you
can't do
can't do
infinite.
infinite. You have like you can only do like 8 times, and then you have to change it up. So
Yeah.
if you do a jab and then an uppercut or jab uppercut, you have to change it up after that. After like
Yeah.
8, like I've seen that before,
I,
but
I
this game it didn't have that. It had whole types of different fucking like combos. It's just that the fact that everybody had one, it was just too ridiculous to me.
what's funny about that game? It doesn't have scaling. So once
Oh,
you
it's
do a
funny.
hit, every medium is like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
and
yeah,
you would feel it. It would be
yeah,
like 15% for just a
yeah,
rare, like a random medium hit. They'll be like, oh shit, and then they can combo off of it and kill you.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like that's
Oh,
the whole thing I like about it. That it's like it's not like I like fighters, but it's like the scaling sometimes is it feels inconsistent. And then
Mm.
like when you do a combo, you could do a top, but then you have to waste resources. You have to do all that. Like Battle of the Grid, you could just throw a character in, hit once, and then that's it. You could do one super and kill a whole character. And I'm
yeah.
like, damn, that is busted. But
Mm.
it's fun
It's
watching.
been
Like
out for a long time too. You'd think they fix it, or that's just the charm of it. Like
I
it's
think
not
this round
that's
of
the
it.
charm. That's
yeah.
the charm. That's
I don't
like
think it was a game they knew there was going to be serious. It wasn't going to be like the
Mm.
next Street Fighter. They knew that. So
yeah, definitely.
So
And even if uh-huh.
go ahead, Kevin.
No, and even if it wasn't to be taken serious, you'll always have a cult following about that type of game because it like scratches the itch that people want from a
Mm.
particular like a different game. Like it's not Tekken, it's not Street Fighter, it's not Dragon Ball. It's a three-team fighter, but it has its own uniqueness to it.
Yeah,
That everything hurts.
it's got a niche.
Yeah,
they
everything
took
hurts.
Tekken off the Game Pass. I was so fucking annoyed.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I got to
Um,
buy the game now.
So
God damn.
so Danny, what you been playing?
Work.
Work.
No.
The hardest game in
The
life.
hardest game in life.
the life. That's it.
It really
The
is.
Dark
Like, a lot
Souls
of
of
fucking socializing
life.
with people. I was supposed to go out with them. I'm like, honestly, I think my social media is done. Honestly, I'm done. I can't talk to people. I can't pretend to be nice. I've been pretending to be nice till like 2 o'clock in the morning for the past
That
3 days.
battery is
Can't
drained.
fucking
Yeah.
do it. I'm like, I don't. I told one person, there's only one person I'm really cool. I'm like, I'm done. I just don't give a fuck about anybody here, and I'm never gonna see these people again. I don't want to go out. I'm not going out. That's what I texted. I'm gonna be on.
You know
That's
what?
it.
Let me ask you real quick because I know you don't tend to be social unless you really want to. But
Work.
do you? Well, because it's work, yeah. But I'm saying the social aspect of it. Do you do you do you try to, like, when you actually have your battery like charged? Do you try to network? Like, is that important to your
Yeah,
job?
yeah.
Like
I
keeping
make
contact, taking numbers, emails, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a proper card holder where
Mm.
I give my card out. I take their cards and I hold on to them. I put them on a vendor contact list, or just I mean a contact list, and I group them depending on what I use them for, whether
Yeah.
it's information, supplies, help, or connection to get more work. Like I make lots. Actually, the thing I'm going to place in Puerto Rico, it's legit just for for doing contacts and stuff like that. Like
Ah,
that's pretty much
it's
all
a
it is.
networking like
It's basically
event.
like a network thing for
Yeah.
contractors and GC stuff like that in that industry. That's all it is.
Mm.
So, and the guy who runs this thing recommended me because he saw how I worked and he saw what I did and he saw I'm not shy to ask questions or anything like that. 'Cause I'm not shy.
I'm gonna release this to them so they gonna know how much of an asshole you are.
Yeah, no,
Leaked
yeah,
it.
I kind of I said it a little bit during yesterday because 2 days ago 'cause I had like 9 or 10 drinks in me,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, I don't actually give a fuck about anybody here, but this is right
You
now
let it
seems kind of
slip.
cool, and I realized, that's
Damn.
my boss. There, maybe not say that again.
Yeah.
So sober,
You know?
just kill the boss, and you don't have to worry about this, man. That's
Yeah.
But I mean, he's not even my boss. He's just the guy in charge, I should say. But still, you get because there's some people who come here just to party and just to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's all they're here for. And I'm not here for that. I'm here for work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm here to make those contacts for a reason about work, not make those contacts to have a fucking drink somewhere and go party.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell right away. You're like, okay, you're gonna be in your position for the rest of your life. Got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not.
Yeah, they're too
And
comfy.
we talked about that, and we were talking about that, with him. He was like, yeah, you could tell some of these people they come here because they just wanna, because we take them out. They take us out. They really we're in Chicago right now, so they had a boat tour. We're on a boat tour on the lake. We did some touristy crap of like ghost and gangster tours, all this crazy. Like you do all this stuff, and then they take you to places you got tons of free drinks, and they pay for everything, all the food, all the drinks, everything.
Yeah.
Like they keep you busy or whatever you want. And then sometimes the main guy, like 11 o'clock, he's going to bed, but his tab is open. Don't worry about it. Order whatever you need. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like it's that type of thing. So some people come just for that,
Yeah.
and you can tell who's that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bed with you, or I'll hang out with these guys because I want to make some little more connections. There's a certain person there that I want to keep talking to about work or whatever, and just keep going. So,
Mm.
and again, but yeah, so that's your answer to my do I network?
But
Yes.
but enough about business. Let's talk about business.
Yes.
No.
Gaming
It's the
business.
same thing in the gaming world. Like you have to do similar stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like you go to conventions, you do the podcast,
Yeah.
and you do it via text and TikTok and things like that. Like
Yeah.
that's how you guys have to do it.
Especially Twitter.
can't
Twitter
do
is
that
actually a
because I'm
big thing
not-
for me too for
Yeah,
networking.
exactly. And it'll be the same thing. Like regardless if you like to do it, you have to do it in order to grow yourself, to
Yeah.
grow the brand type of thing, and to make those connections, to be able to talk and keep going and blah blah blah. Like it's very important. And but my meter's full right now, so fuck all that. I want to play my video games.
Hell yeah.
That's what
All
I'm
right.
feeling.
Damn.
So
All right.
Hold
All
on,
right.
hold on. Drunk, what have you been playing?
Oh,
We didn't talk about it.
man. So yeah, sometimes I forget. Oh, fuck. Y'all gonna make me say it now. Where's my shot?
Shot.
And mind you, I got maybe like one. Yeah, I got like one shot left of my Jameson Black.
Just drink it straight from the bottle.
Straight from the bottle.
Right from the bottom.
So before I take
Casino
this,
balls,
before I
yes,
take the
yes.
swig, yeah, Destiny, of course. Mostly because I've been having a lot more fun with the new builds that either I've been coming up with or I've been looking up like online for because they kind of, for those who don't know, they revamped the solar and the void classes so you can like customize them a little bit more to like your preferences, your gameplay. So I've been messing around with those a lot more. I've been grinding for rolls on my equipment. I've been trying to level up my character even more just to so I could do like solo master nightfalls and master dungeons and master lost sectors and all that shit. And honestly, that's pretty much it. All I've been doing is grinding Destiny because everything else that I have played was pretty much just reviews. Like I reviewed Wreckfest, which is like a destruction derby type game. Um, I reviewed a couple of, I did a couple of previews for the Coalition as well. So I actually got to play a couple things that aren't released yet, like the Cub. So that's up on Coalition as well, which is like, you guys ever played like those old school platformers like Flashback or like Heart of Darkness,
Yeah.
something like that? It's kind of like that, and it was a lot of fun. And then I did American Arcadia, which is another preview that I did for Coalition. They it's like a story driven side scroller, puzzle side scroller, kind of like Limbo or what was the other
Inside.
one? Inside is kind of like that, except a lot more dialogue and a lot more story. So yeah, that's
So
pretty much
nothing
it.
like that.
So pretty much just Destiny and work related games.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
Shit.
So yeah, here you go.
Chug, chug,
Chug,
chug,
chug,
chug,
chug,
chug,
chug,
chug,
chug, chug,
chug.
chug, chug.
Hey,
Look at
By
you.
the way,
Drinking. Uh-huh.
I'll
now
put some
that
hair in your
now
asshole.
that I finished this, fucking love this. This is my favorite. Now that I finished this, I bought, and I've never tried it, mind you. I bought a bottle of Jameson Orange. I want to try that shit. It's orange flavored Jameson.
Do you have it with you right now? Like,
Yeah, I'm
next
gonna
to
go.
you?
I'm gonna go open it. And I'll bring it here. So before I bring it in, so the first topic we're gonna talk about is the fact that what's his name? Oh my god, I forget his name. I gotta look him up now. Naoki Yoshida. He he's one of the directors for Final Fantasy 16, and he talked about the fact that his biggest focus on the game was more about stories, more about like having everything perfect for this game, and making it an open world game would have taken a lot longer and would have taken away the focus of what they really wanted to, focus on for the game. And he kind of said that if the development team had 15 years, they would make the Final Fantasy 16 as an open world game, pretty much insinuating kind of that uh if you want if you want an open world Final Fantasy game ever again, you probably have to wait a really long time. And so that came up with a question in my head when I read the article, and I wanted to know you guys' opinion about it. Was that, what do you guys think about that idea? Is like, are you okay with a linear Final Fantasy story or game rather? Or would you rather wait a really long time for something a lot more open world where you could do a lot more things by yourself and not only focus on story? So Danny, if you want to go first, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'll just go first to
I'm
put
gonna
on the
I'm
record.
gonna grab my bottle while you're doing that.
I'll just put on the record that the game is not 100% linear. It's not like Final Fantasy. Well, I haven't played it yet, but for what I've heard on testing and all that BS, because I like to follow stuff like that, especially on Final Fantasy, that it's not 100% linear. It's area open world, and the same way like Pokemon Icarus or
Arceus?
yeah, whatever you call it,
Icarus.
Icarus, whatever however you say
Asura.
that.
Asura.
There's another game. I can't think of it right now, but it's similar to how those are like the
Randy.
fake. Oh, Final Fantasy remake actually is actually very similar. Like, which I know now you played it, so that doesn't help. But it's a fake open world where you have an area where you can roam around and do all the crazy look for loot and all the bullshit and find little nooks and crannies in the area and do whatever you need. Final Fantasy, like, was it 12 with Lightning? That was 100% linear. You cannot go back at all, and you might not be able to go back these areas either. But it's still you have some range in these areas to do stuff and to do what you want before you finish the main storyline in that area and then have to move on to the next.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that I think is okay. If it turns out that it is 100% linear, like 13 or whatever the hell it was, it was 13.
13,
Then
yeah.
I better have like a great awesome story into why it is. You know what I mean? Like if it's a war and he's just fucking, if it's Lord of the Rings type of fucking, Lord of the Rings, they don't go back until the very end, obviously, to the Shire because they're on a journey to do something. They're
So
going through the woods, going
so
to the thing. So like storyline wise, it makes sense.
here's the thing
But
though, like I agree with your point on that. So what do you think? Do you think that something like Final Fantasy 15 would work better since it was like it was in a sense it was open world, but the problem with that was that you got to do a lot of things on your own, but it was super short. And I kind of feel like maybe it was super short because they focused so much on an open world aspect.
yeah,
Was that okay for you, like having a short Final Fantasy experience like that, as long as it's open world, or
Final,
would you...
Final Fantasy 15 is weird. Is a different story because Final Fantasy 15, you and I played only the base game, and then they had all these fucking DLCs that would have made the game longer if they added it in there.
Mhm.
That was actually part of the main story and combined and told more story to make the game longer. But they had all these DLCs that you really had to pay for, so it's like you had to pay for more of the story, which is really bad. Like that model, I hope they never do that again.
Mm.
That I think is horrible. Like if for people who bought like the Kingdom version and played that, all say, "Well, this was my first one, so I didn't know." And I thought this game was really long and fun. I had no idea that what People Problem was talking about because they got to play the version with all the DLC and everything in it, so you get more of a complete game and a complete story. Um, if they do that, it's fucking horrible. But again, it's like I think that was a money grab for Final Fantasy. The
Mm.
Square Enix tends to do that a lot.
Guess that's a big thing, a big theme for today.
Yeah, they test out a
Money
lot of
grabs.
they test out a lot of money grabs. That's always something they're gonna do. They've always done it. I feel.
Okay.
But I'm hoping they really do stick to a storyline that's. And again, and they've also mentioned already, there's not going to be all the story and all the game is going to be in this one game. All right, it's not going to be like again, Final Fantasy 15 got shit on a lot because even to understand some of the beginning of why they're there type of thing, you had to have watched the anime that came
Oh,
Oh
Kingsley.
yeah,
before.
Kingslave.
Yeah, with Kingston.
Yeah.
So to piece the full story together. Again, the full story. You have to watch the King's Cave. You have to play the base game and then do all the DLC. Like that's so fucking choppy. And then it all didn't come out in sequence either. Like a
Yeah.
lot of it came out. So it was like really weird that they would do this. And
It did Kingsglaive come out like right after? I think it came out like
right
during
before,
right before the like. I think it was
right before, right
but
as the game came out, like super close.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Like weeks. I had them like a week or
Yeah.
so. So I remember it, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna watch this because I'll just play the game when it comes out next week. What's the point?
and
I remember thinking that too.
no, I remember when I heard of Kingsglaive was around Gladios's DLC when it got
Oh,
announced.
okay. So no, I think it came out.
No, no, it
No.
came out
I'm not,
before. He's saying
no, it came
he
out
heard
before.
about
I
it.
heard about it
Oh, okay, yeah.
during Gladios's when they were like, oh yeah, Pronto got his. I think Pronto's was last. It was Gladios, Ignis, and then Pronto. I think I heard it at Gladius's DLC, and I was like, what the fuck is Kingsglaive? Then I watched it and I was like, I don't understand. To be honest, I don't understand the Final Fantasy story, and this being the first Final Fantasy that I completed, it's like I was so confused. Like
Yeah.
even playing the game and watching the anime,
Yeah.
I was so fucking confused.
Yeah, again, they had too much stuff going on and
Yeah.
trying to piece together to make money, and that's what and again they've claimed on this one there's not going to be an anime. There's not going to be a fucking DLC, which you have. I mean, they might do DLC because that's the way you make money, but it's going to be an add-on versus not part of the main story. Which hopefully, I have faith so far because I love summons. It's always been my favorite thing. It was like one of the Final Fantasy. I think it was like 9 or something that didn't have any summons at all. I was so fucking pissed. I'm like, how do you get rid of the summons? It's the best part of the game. Like, what's wrong with you? You know, might have been 13. Anyway, um, but this to be like the main focus is those. It's like, okay, that's gonna be really interesting, and
Mhm.
we kind of, I kind of feel like it's gonna be the Stranger in Paradise type of motif, but like done properly, almost. Because that's kind of what the Stranger in Paradise is. You have to kind of fought those summons like Infern and Shiva to the storyline bad, so I don't fucking know. I haven't played for that long, but still, you have to summon them. You have to beat them to unlock the part of the light or whatever, and then keep going. And I feel like this is definitely it's gonna be part of the main story. Is you going from one summon to another, trying to collect their power, like fucking Mega Man shit.
Randy's like Final Fantasy Origins, the chaos within. That's the next game.
The chaos.
So Kevin, what are your thoughts on open world, linear? Is Square Enix doing okay with how they're changing up the formula for Final Fantasy lately?
Well, Final Fantasy, yeah, for me, I like that Square's always trying something new with Final Fantasy. It's not always it's the same in turn based, but it's sometimes that the combat changes, and that's what I really do enjoy about Square. I'm more combat focused, but when it comes to a story, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't really pay attention to a story. I
Really?
played yeah, I really don't, because for me, unless I'm really invested, like let me see a game that I'm really invested in. I say, for example, I was gonna say Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, but in actuality,
You need to take a
Benson title.
shot. You
Sonic
need to take a
Frontier.
shot for Sonic from now on too.
He
Wait,
takes
is
too many
is Sonic
shots.
a new thing for him?
Yeah, Sonic
No,
Frontier, Sonic
no, no,
everything.
no, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle
That's what I meant.
story does
Yeah,
not make
Sonic
it does
Adventure.
it
Yeah.
does it does not make sense, and I to this day still don't understand it. Actually, when I watched Final Fantasy 15 was the first game to make me cry, and it wasn't because
I
I
don't know why
didn't.
I'm crying. What's
Pussy.
going on? But
No,
Pussy.
no, no, because it was the base game. So when I played it, I didn't play the DLC. Like even now, I still haven't played the DLC.
Really?
And yeah, I actually have the Royal Edition on Steam, so I'm definitely gonna get to
I
playing
mean,
that. But
I
I
have
have
rolled this until I know.
Honestly, I'll tell you this. Just play episode Ignis. That's the best fucking one.
no Ignis is not
Which one was
actually my
Ignis? That's the
the
nunchuck
one with the
guy?
glasses. No, with the glass
Yeah,
the
yeah.
daggers.
The
The one
dagger.
that goes blind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, his is really fucking good. Ignis is really good. Prompto's really strange because it's a third person shooter, and
Hmm.
then Gladio feels more like Gladio
I
feels
would
more
be
like
a sword.
a super side quest, but like
Hmm.
Yeah.
no, like a filler episode of
Oh,
an anime.
But
Like
wouldn't the
it
game
possibly.
been
feels so out of
fun?
pocket.
But
Hmm?
wouldn't the game kind of been fun if all that was in there and all of a sudden Glad, because
Yeah.
I think the guy with the
Oh
scar
yeah.
was the first one left.
Yeah.
And you're playing
The
the
mullet.
game, you're in that main town, that cool city looking place, and he goes, I'll be back. And he says that in the game, and then you fucking
And then you
play
go
as
do
him,
it.
and you have this
Yeah.
cool like side story that you get to really fucking know this character,
Hmm.
and then you go back and you're like, wow, that was cool. Like I want more of that. Like, and then they do it the rest of them. Like
Hmm.
having that, if that was intricate in the game as you were going,
Hmm.
it would have been so much more fun.
It's
Like,
Yeah.
kind of like that effect of so for the people who've seen Endgame, like that I was gonna say Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, like she dies, right?
yeah.
And so you
Whoa,
already
spoilers,
so
spoilers,
you
Kevin.
already
Spoilers,
know
spoilers.
Come on.
Spoilers.
so you already know the outcome of
Spoilers.
it. And then the Black Widow movie comes out, and it's almost like you don't really care so much anymore because
She
you
dead.
already know the
Yeah,
outcome afterwards. So it's like
and it,
you beat a game,
Here's the thing though. Here's the thing
but then
though.
you go backwards towards a character that should have already been developed. So it's like now at that point you don't care as much.
but and
No.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's
Hmm.
the story, the DLC starts. I mean, in the game, in the middle of the game, and the point where the guy goes,
Yeah.
"I'll be back. I have something to take care of." And then he
Yeah.
comes back with a giant fucking scar on his face, and you're like, "Yeah, don't worry, it's a scar." It's a long
It,
story. I can't explain it. You're like,
it,
no, fucking explain that. How would he get
it,
the scar? Why did he get the scar? What fucking
it,
adventure did he go on to get a scar like that?
Why is
I
Ignis
Yeah.
want to see
blind?
that. And
Yeah.
then you
it's
play the DLC, and you're like, fuck, this should have been there. This was,
yeah.
and then the DLC plays it off like, yeah, this is what you missed, haha. Like
Mhm.
I don't know. It was such a horrible tease. It was really bad.
Nah,
It
it
like
was
made me more mad to play that than if it. I don't know.
for me. The way I saw it was, I don't know if you guys watch One Piece, like not up to date, but
No,
like to the point to
No.
like to
I've
they go
already
to like
watched
the
too
to
much.
Yeah.
it,
It's
it,
obviously
it
too
is.
many.
Uh, but besides that point, there's a arc which is later
Anyways,
in the future that Zoro gets a scar, and
Mhm.
you know why you find out like later that he was training with like the guy that beat him in the beginning, and then he trained with him for like 3 years and got like unnaturally strong, like stronger than before, and he gets his own ability,
he
which is
benches with
like,
his feet.
yeah, he fights with his feet now. No, I'm
Oh,
fucking
like
shit.
Raiden.
No, no, he bench presses with his feet.
With feet, yeah, he bench presses with his feet, like, and it's like like 100 tons or some shit like that. It's like absurd, but it
He's on his
because he's
Goku
insanely
shit.
strong. Like if it was told like that, it would make the story like better. But for me, like just playing the game and me enjoying the story and enjoying the bond that they have, I enjoyed that. But it again, it's me looking at it as like not a Final Fantasy buff. It was just like I'm looking the game as what it is. I'm not looking at it as it's a Final Fantasy game, so it has to have like the most detailed pinpoint story. It would have helped to understand that, but then I felt like it definitely should have been in the game, just in the
S-
base game, so
So
that if you want a DLC, you can get more story about like why the main bad guy is a bad guy, what got him
Yeah.
into that,
so
because
so
that's a
I'm sorry, cuz since story isn't so important to you, as important anyways.
as important.
And game, I'm assuming you're saying gameplay is that's what's more important, right?
Before I played that game, it was.
No, I'm talking about
After
for like Final Fantasy, like what your expectations are for 16
my expectations for
or
15,
any Final Fantasy game, I guess I should say.
it's just to be just have a good story. I would say just for me, like being linear is not
But you
as,
said you don't care about the story.
Mhm.
but that's after 15. That was before 15.
You're saying
Now
after
I
he's
after
saying
I played 15, I'm more into the story.
yeah.
That was the game that got me into like caring about the story,
Okay.
except for like the MMORPGs, because it's not that I don't care, it's that it's too much information being thrown at
Well,
me, and
I'm
and I
glad
have yeah, for as many shots you have to take for 15, I mean fantasy today, I'm looking for you, sober. But I do care about story as of now. Like this was like 2015, 16 that I beat 15.
Yeah.
So from then on, I started caring more about story. Like Fire Emblem, I understand. I would sit there, watch the story. I would read every piece of dialogue, every friend bond or whatever. Especially Persona, which is heavy story driven, and you have
Hmm.
to understand what's going on. So it got me into the mood of like, if I like the game enough, I would sit there and try to my best to understand the story. And if I don't, I give my own interpretation of
You
it.
like those Danganronpa games too, right? Like
Hell yeah, I
Oh
love that
god.
mystery shit.
those are completely story driven.
Exact. And then you want to know what's funny? I watched all of the Danganronpa games because I'm not saying I'm not smart enough, but I don't have that's not my type of game. But I do
Mm.
enjoy the story to the point that I could be like, all right, now I can watch the anime and understand it more. And then the
Hmm.
anime just it summarizes everything so that it's not like, oh, it's just fucking text on your screen and you have to read it, or something like that. It's like they explain the entire story, and then it's like character arcs that you see, and that's what made me more into understanding, like that's what made me more into story, and not just anime but in everything I watch, like movies,
So
shows, and everything.
so an open world Final Fantasy game you don't really care for as long as it's a good story to it.
Yeah, it can be an open, I would say open area like Dan said
Yeah.
earlier,
Yeah.
but open world, it's like it's too much. I would say it's too much work. They will have to be working this on like Final Fantasy 7 for
Mm.
15 to be like, to be good. Not even 7, like probably earlier, like have the games in work as they talk about it. But we can't say that because back then they're I would say the development on like gaming and everything, like we just got disc and everything, so it makes it harder to be like that. But I could see a Final Fantasy game that's open area and great story. Like it'll be fun. 15
Mm.
didn't, it had the open world way too much, but it had an okay story. If it has a better story but open area, I would feel like that would be like they will be hitting the mark as close as possible. Because they can give them a taste of what open world Final Fantasy feels like.
Yeah. I think that's kind of how 15 was. Like they give you a little bit of a taste because it wasn't a very large open world, but it was big
Oh no.
enough to at least
No, 15 was
explore,
huge.
find some
15 was a
things.
huge world.
15
Eh,
was huge for no.
A
I
flying
don't think it was that
car
big.
towards the
Well,
end.
sure. I
Well,
mean, almost every Final Fantasy game has a flying something towards the end
That's what I'm
game.
saying. Like, but 15 was a fully open world. 15 was a fully open world game where to the point where you could get lost and you can grind and go on side missions and all that bullshit. Like
Yeah.
you
15
can
was a fully open world.
you can finish the thing that I like about 15 is you can beat it in 6 hours.
Yeah.
Actually, like in 6 hours, and then
Yeah.
you can enjoy the entire game. Like for me, I beat the game at like I think 36 hours, and I was like under level. I was like level 56 when I beat the game, and it
Yeah,
was hard. It was hard because I was way under leveled. And then when I
Hmm.
played the game again, I like got the ring that holds all your EXP for the entire party, and then just mauled a bunch of enemies, got to 99, beat the game, and then I just enjoyed all the side quests, fighting the giant turtle boss that takes 3 actual hours to beat.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I enjoyed the game. Like it made me more into playing Final Fantasy 15, knowing
Hmm.
that I have all those options. But then again, on the opposite spectrum, when I played Breath of the Wild, that game is open world, and I lost my shit because I didn't know what the fuck to do.
You see that, and that's
You want direction
I feel like that
at
too.
least,
and
and
I
that
feel like
some
that's a
form of
little bit.
that's
guidance.
that's
As
my
much.
that's my argument about it is that like and that's why I wanted to ask you guys about this topic because some people prefer a Final Fantasy game that you're already told where to go, what to do, and you really just want to focus on the story and the fun of the gameplay that already presents to you. But I, for
Hmm.
one, I liked Final Fantasy 15 and its open worldness because you got to mess around and play around and kind of just wander and discover a lot of little things here and there. So, like this guy is saying that we have to wait 15 years if you wanted to have a truly open world Final Fantasy game. Like I was like, I'm willing to wait for that shit. Like
I don't mind it.
I want to be able to
It's,
spend as much time on a Final Fantasy game as I did for Elden Ring. Like just
and it's
open
Yeah.
world,
funny
just
that
so much shit
he
going on.
said that because it's funny that he said that because they've said already that Final Fantasy's Rebirth, 7 Rebirth is going to be open world.
Yeah.
Like
But
the
I think
the producer already said, yes, I can't wait for you to see the open world that we
It's
built.
gotta be smaller than 15 though. It's got to be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I
15,
don't know. Yeah, I think it's you know what it is.
mhm.
I don't know. Everybody's everybody's super perplexed about it, but
Yeah.
I think they're doing a combination of the open world with the open area.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
You know what I
That
mean?
would be nice.
So like it would be the open world to get to some place around Nibelheim. Then once you get to Nibelheim, the fucking gets into the story, which the story is an open area.
You know what worries me about it? Because
You know what I'm
if
talking
they're
about? The separation.
if they're trying to fit everything into like, 'cause mind you, of course, like you can get it digital, but of course they're gonna sell a CD version, so you have to try to fit everything on the CD. I would assume that like if they did a lot of open area sections, then they're gonna reuse a lot of freaking assets. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
see a lot of the same environments over and over and over again.
Well,
Yeah.
it depends on what engines they use. I mean, some of these engines
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
need as much as they used to, and that's part of the beauty of them. You know.
But let's see
Oh,
how much
oh,
space all that stuff takes. But
hold on. I have a point.
yeah.
I would
When
love
the
an open world aspect, and it goes and they fucking like get in some kind of weird battle mode.
hmm
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
You know what I mean?
the smearing
the sneaking
screen.
shit. Oh
Yeah,
my
the
god.
blurry
Yeah, where he
screen.
goes into and
That
he
shit
fucking
got me
Yeah.
flies.
nauseous.
That'd be fun. Too. If only on the open world it does that. Like that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Uh,
oh, I love
that
that.
that would definitely be cool. The reason I don't mind waiting, I feel like 15 years is like it is a lot, but me and Randy both waited for Kingdom Hearts 3. And how long did that take, Randy?
50,
Yeah,
50, 60 years.
No, it took
it took like 2
12,
lifetimes, honestly,
yeah, it took
and it was a massive fucking letdown.
yeah, and
Mhm.
Again,
that
See,
I think
this
I
is one
really
thing
do.
about the whole. Hold on, wait. I've been sitting here
Yeah,
like
yeah. Go ahead,
tickling
Randy.
my fucking
all right, so
asshole or
it's
some
Randy's
shit.
point. It's Randy's
Yeah,
point now. Go ahead.
it's tickling my butthole this entire time. Fucking goddamn. So I don't care much for the open world shit. Like I do like the linear things because at least like it gives you. If they go back to what it was before, as all the Final Fantasies were prior, then it's all the content in one game. 10, I'm doing that. It's super fucking linear. You do have some form of openness, but it's still pretty good. You get your fucking money's worth and whatever. Um,
Of course. Yeah.
what the hell was the thing? Oh, the only concerning thing about like if they do take those 15 years to make a open world Final Fantasy game is that a lot of games that take about that time tend to be fucking massive disappointments. and it's kind of not intentional, but the everything kind of progresses forward, and they get left behind,
Yeah.
stuck on what their vision was 15 years prior to the release.
Yeah.
Duke Nukem Forever. Look at that. That was almost like what 20 fucking years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolute garbage fucking game.
It
Kingdom
was
Hearts
good.
3. I have to take a shot. Shit.
Kingdom
Kingdom Hearts
Hearts 3.
3. Yeah, there you go. Fuck. That game, it took a really long time, and everyone was super excited, including myself. Like when I saw the first like E3 things about it, and like you saw the swarm of Heartless and shit, like I was really excited. Then I played the game, and I'm like, oh, okay,
The gummy ship was
this
fun.
is that, huh?
The gummy
No,
ship
no,
was fun.
yeah, no, the gummy ship was really fun. The gummy ship was like the only good
No,
thing of the entire fucking game.
always hated
But
them. I like
Yeah.
cringe when that. And that good.
I
The
thoroughly
Gummy Ship
enjoyed it.
Part 3 was better than the rest of them, yes. But because I personally always fucking loathe the Gummy Ship aspect. If I was able to
Um,
skip it, I skip it.
I wish you were allowed to
Can I
skip it every
can
time.
I can I just
yeah,
say
no,
something about
to
about two that has the best? It has the best music for the gummy ship. The battle themes.
oh yeah,
Kingdom Hearts
yeah,
Yeah.
2?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Kingdom
for
Mm,
Hearts 2
sure,
has the best gummy ship music in
yeah.
by far.
I don't remember any of it.
And honestly, it was uh, two had better gummy ships honestly than three, because three
Yeah.
was fun, but it was a gallery shooter. It was an open world gallery shooter. Like you did your encounters with the enemies, and then you just fucking like a little Space Invaders kind of shit going on. Um, but kind of sidetracking now. Just a long wait probably won't result in a good open world Final Fantasy game that we're gonna want. And Final, I don't know. Final
So,
Fantasy
so
doesn't seem
you
like a
think it's
franchise that
okay to
should be
have a short Final Fantasy game? Is that what you're saying?
yeah. No. Like waiting the 15 years for a
Oh,
open world Final Fantasy. That's not no.
yeah.
That's not going to be ideal at all. Oh, I didn't put my
Mhm.
shit in. God damn.
But and here's the biggest thing that people don't quite grasp. I fully think Final Fantasy VII, yes, technically is an open world game, but it's a linear game. It's a very linear game. You
You talking about the
cannot.
remake?
No, I'm talking about part one. I'm on the
Original?
OG. OG. You start off in fucking fuck. So the city, right? You have to go to the church and you have to meet like you can't skip anything. Even when you're in Seventh Heaven, you can't actually go anywhere besides the little area because everything's always blocked. Oh, you can't go. It's stuck behind a wall. Everything's stuck behind a wall, and you have to go on to the next part. You have to do the next storyline to get to the next part to go
So
on to
is
go
that
on.
what you would call an open area? Because like you had a barrier.
The open area is Final Fantasy remake. That's open area where
Uh-huh.
you're in the whole where Seven Heaven area was that whole little town that you have there.
Yeah.
To run around and do all the crazy shit and do all these
Yeah.
missions and side
And
missions and
then
all
you
this
move on
stuff.
to the next section.
Fight and you even have a little mission that you can go in there until you get to the next little area, and then you see Aerith's little world where you first meet Aerith in her little bullshit town and the church and everything. Like it's a lot of you can roam around a bit,
Well, so
but it's still an
I
area.
asked that because
It's
for the
secret.
original Final Fantasy, VII that you're talking about, like you're absolutely right. Like there are barriers. It is linear in a sense that you have to go from point A to point B to point C to continue the story. But that's for any story driven game. You of course you have to go from A to B to C, but in between those points, like you can still go and grind and find areas that you don't have to necessarily go to. Like for example, you can literally wander around in the forest until you run into Yuffie and then unlock her as a secret character, or you could run into a secret cave somewhere and you can find some extra materia, or you can
But it's not
farm
like
and
but it's not
and you can get
but
some
the youth
enemies.
but the youth thing, it's not like it's a certain place where you have to wander off. It's any place. So as you're going, you can always fucking unlock. You know what I mean? Like it's it wasn't like a set area. There are side missions that make it a little more open world. There's like Yuffie's entire world. Like if you don't have to fly there,
The
you don't have to
Wutai
go there.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
route that was like that's the only some one or two of the side missions that it had. The
Mhm.
optional missions
Mhm.
were the open world aspect, but when it came to like doing anything in the story, and the other open world, Breath of the Wild, you can go, you finish the main story by going to any place you want, and then you end up finishing the story. And I think the other true open world games, and these are like, and again, these were the beginning, and there's a lot, and again, almost all the Final Fantasies are like that. Part nine, same exact way. Part nine is very fucking linear. You just don't realize it because you're literally the fucking forest gets frozen and you're stuck and you never go back there. Go to the castle, you never go back. Like you actually never do go back to any of the fucking places. You can't. You're not able to, but you don't realize it because you have this feeling of I'm on a world map now and I'm running, but I'm running to the next area that I'll never fucking go to again. And part eight, they're all, if you think about it, when you go to play them, it's not like I have this full range to do whatever I want. It's open world is just an illusion. Their
Yes.
open worlds are
Yeah.
always just an illusion.
That's a good point.
You Nowadays, again, because we have Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring, all these fucking games, we're like, wow, okay, this GTA, obviously, like those games, those are fucking open worlds. You can
Mhm.
finish the games and do what you want, how you want. Red
Mhm.
Dead Revolver and all these fucking things. Those are open world. So when they start building these Final Fantasy games, the newer ones especially, they're like, well, why should I build a whole fucking Red Dead world to do all these crazy shit when I want to give you a story? I want you to be halfway linear. I want it to be linear so that you can do the story that Final Fantasy has always done very well.
Mhm.
Because that's what Final Fantasy games are. They are very story driven games, and most of the combat is based off a fucking old school JRPG thing. It's click,
Mhm.
fucking attack, magic. Like it's very basic. I mean, they've evolving a little more now for the new age kids and stuff. They say, and that's
They've
why it's
even
more
said that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
and that's why it's more action based to evolve that into it and to bring them into it. But you still got to trick them into loving and enjoying the story. And then once you can trick them into that, they're like, hey, if you like that story, play part seven. You'll like play part six or four. Some of these real old ones, they have great stories too. They just, the gameplay's just a little simpler.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie. The thing I think that spoiled me now was Elden Ring and getting used to travel.
Yeah,
Like it's Elden Ring, Spider-Man, and
yeah.
Man,
Spider Man's a
I'm
good one.
telling you, Elden Ring set up a high bar for
Oh
future
it
like
God,
really
games,
did.
man.
And
there are no more Dark Soul games, whatever you call those.
yeah, so it's like it's
Souls
Elden
like there are
like
no more
it's
Souls
Elden
like
like
more unless they fucking relate to Elden Ring and do that. Like
nah
you have to have, I don't know, like
that you got
I'm sure there's a lot of developers really pissed right now. They're like,
a
fuck, with this Life of Pi game gonna bomb because it's not gonna be fucking. I think
life of
it's probably gonna be the next one to come out. Is Life of P,
life
Life
of
of
P.
the
Lies of
Pinocchio
P.
game.
Liza
Oh,
P,
the
the
Pinocchio game.
Pinocchio. Yeah.
Yeah,
Game.
the Pinocchio.
Oh
That's
yeah, I
gonna be
forgot
like
about
the next like Dark Souls game, I think.
Well, I
And
mean,
I don't know if it's
again,
ever.
yeah, some people might appreciate just a linear-ish Dark Souls type game because
If it
Dark
has,
Souls always tended to you can kind of stray away in a sense, but it's not obviously it's not necessarily open world, but
yeah,
yeah.
some people might appreciate that type of style.
The thing I love more about what spoiled me about Elden Ring was traveling, like
The fast
traversing, and
traveling.
it's not even not no not even fast
no,
travel.
Mm.
The
yeah.
fact that you can have a mount and literally travel wherever, like you don't have to necessarily go straight
Oh
to the boss
man,
directly.
yeah.
You can do anything on a
And
fucking horse.
there was so much to find. Like it wasn't like it was an open world where you could barely find something to do. Like every little
Yeah,
like every like half a mile you can
That's what it
find
was.
something.
It's
you
like,
can
what's this? There's a ghost. What's this? This is lantern.
so
What's this? There's a giant fucking lobster. What's this? There's a bear. What's this? There's a cave. Statue points to a cave. Like it really was like,
you
oh
can
my
get you can
god.
get
Like,
lost in that game, and that's surface level shit.
did
That's
you
like
ever beat
Yeah.
that, Randy?
Did you get to finish,
What?
Randy?
The Elden Ring?
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm still on Radagon. I haven't touched it in a while.
Radagon. I thought you were up to like the fire giant.
No, I'm at the last boss.
Oh, Radigan.
Oh,
Sorry,
Probably get the last one.
I'm thinking the horse dude with the big dude with the horse. I forget.
Radabon?
Radabon? Radagon?
Rabadan?
Yeah,
What?
whatever.
Star
Yeah.
Scourge, whatever the fuck his name is.
The Star Scourge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, him.
No,
Yeah.
no, no,
Oh,
no.
so
I'm
you're
all
on
the
the
way at the
last
end of the
boss.
game.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm too lazy to finish it.
Yeah.
I'm about to just like
Well,
go like into a holy build and then
you're already
fucking
there. That's already
yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
missing
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
The
even know what
Yeah.
ending I'm gonna get, so I don't want to
it
find
all
out.
depends. Yeah, you'll definitely find out.
So,
But
but okay. Here's the
mhm,
thing with open world games and Elden Ring and fucking Breath of the Wild and shit. there's open world to a certain degree. Like you are at liberty to play as you please, but there is still some form of linearity because there is guidance. There are things that tell you what you need to do. So it's not fully open world, it's not fully linear, but it's the right amount of both where you can do what you want, but there will still be like a little carrot in front of you, just like taking you where you have to fucking go
Mm-hmm.
to do the story. And that's
Keep
perfect.
your focus. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as like if they could do that for a Final Fantasy game, then that's fucking cool. But again, if it's gonna take fucking 15 years, no. Not every open world game is gonna be just like that. Because you could have like an Ubisoft game that's open world as well, but at the same time, there's like a million one fucking things. But if you want to break it down to its fucking meat and potatoes of the story, it's like fucking 6
Yeah.
quests.
That's the thing with like
Skyrim,
Ubisoft games.
no, even Bethesda, like Skyrim,
uh-huh.
that game has a lot of content. But if you just do the story, you're done with it like in an hour and a fucking half. It is
But
so goddamn short.
even Bethesda though, like a lot of things with the open world, and I'm not saying open world games are bad, but I'm just saying like a lot of open world games that like
Open girl.
Bethesda,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh,
Open world, and
Oh.
open and like Bethesda and Ubisoft does. A lot of it is superficial. It's a lot of filler. It's a lot of
yeah.
things that like you. It's not necessarily interesting or progresses anything in any sense. It's kind of just like you do it because you just want to collect and or do whatever. Um, but with Elden Ring, you find so much shit that you can use towards your builds. Or you can find some shit that may not that may actually be the opposite of what your build is, but at least it causes some interest into you, like experimenting and respecing and changing your build and playing around with new things and stuff like that. So I kind of like Danny's like example or his opinion about it, saying that like most Final Fantasy open world games are they're not really open world. They're it's the illusion of open world.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense. So
Yeah.
it's like yeah, I think giving you a couple of options here and there when you're in an open world area, going on to the next thing is nice, but at least there's always that carrot and the stick to kind of keep you focused on what's important, which is the story.
And I
And
think
then you
that's
move on
why.
to it.
And I
I,
think it's why the comment of if we really wanted to make this open world, it would take us 15 years, is because it's like,
I'm
how do
not
you?
waiting 15 years either, by the way,
No, no,
but
no.
go
I'm
ahead.
saying,
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm saying the actual. How do you make? They're basically saying in order for us to make a actual Final Fantasy game, which is hardcore driven, story driven, with that keeps you interested in going and has permanent beats with an open world. How do you do that? How do you put it together? You have to have a large story in order to do that. And
mm-hmm.
sometimes open world to me just don't make sense when you're doing a really good storyline.
Mhm.
Like if you're having to save the princess, she's stuck in a castle. Oh wait, let me go save this fucking chocobo. Like that don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Like oh wait,
Let me go
I have a
breed
car to
chocobos
do
until
now.
I get a golden one.
Yeah, like storyline wise, doesn't fucking make any sense. Like it's just stupid to do that. And nowadays, with the more modern type, like these are highly realistic games. That if your storyline is saying that we have to save this world, we don't have time to fuck around. It's because we don't have time to fuck around. It makes to me that makes way more sense
Yeah.
than hold my beer. I need to fucking my car needs a new color. You know.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah,
it,
right.
I always feel like with Final Fantasy games, it's more like a sense of urgency. Like you have,
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
it's
Yes.
they all
it's
are. They
always
are. Yeah.
it's always like that. And if you have like time to like downtime, you're like, all right, I'm gonna just like buy like
I
fucking
feel like
12
the
potions
games
and go about my
And I
business to
feel
go
like
through
the
this.
Final Fantasy games have always had that intermission in the middle of like, okay, this is the part of the game where you can break and do what you want, but storyline wise, we're literally saying you can break like the chocobo, the golden saucer. Literally, you can come play in the golden saucer, or you can go fucking go around and fly around the world, or drive around. You could drive at that point, drive around the world and see
World.
what happens.
Hmm.
Like go explore. This is the break time. We're good. We're all kind of happy right now. We know
Hmm.
we have to get to a certain place, but we know we have time to kill. Like
Yeah.
they always had that. The very ending of the game when you get the Highland ship. You get the Highland ship and they go, look, we have to go to that giant meteor, but make sure you're ready before we
Mhm.
go to that fucking meteor that's falling. So go get what you have to get because we're gonna be into a big ass battle. Like storyline wise, it always makes sense. And so the Final Fantasy VIII, very similar to that. You know, they had
Mhm.
their breakpoints, and that's fun. You know, and storyline wise, you leave that, but
Yeah.
not necessary. And Final Fantasy 16 really want to focus on the story, give you that hardcore. This is a serious story driven game. We want a full story. We want to give you this full story, keep you immersed the way we used to. I'm
Mhm.
excited for it. You know, I'm super excited for it.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
to give my final point.
Final thoughts.
Final points. All right, so I'm gonna make a reference. You want your filler not to be like Bleach, but be more like One Piece. It's not just filler just to fill the story.
I mean,
You
not
want it
like
to
Naruto. Fuck.
no. Yeah,
God
Naruto
no.
or Bleach. I mean
God no.
Bleach or yeah, Bleach or Naruto. Have it like
No.
Have it like don't have it like that. Don't
Yeah,
have it
yeah, yeah.
like
Yeah,
Bleach
Yeah.
yeah,
and Naruto. Have it like One Piece because every filler, believe it or not, is very important to the story in a way that you find out later.
Are
Yeah.
Everything
you taking
related.
shots for One Piece too?
No,
You sure?
I don't think he
no,
talks about it enough.
no. I don't talk about it enough. But it correlates so much, and you want to give your audience so much, but you don't want it to be too much that it's
yeah,
nonsense.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's the nice middle part about it. Aim for that. Aim for a good story. Have your breaks. Give us the false sense of open world area or like an open area, and then continue the story because the story is what we're there for. We're not there for to fucking go jerk this chocobo off to it gives us like golden nut or something like that, and then we go about our business. And they're
Golden
like, all
nut.
right, we can
That
get
would be
this.
awesome.
We get like
Uh,
a silver chocobo, and then we got to get that. So that no, just don't give
oh,
us that.
jeez.
Just
Wait,
give
the
us enough.
Wait,
the
what?
chocobo laugh, the
Well,
chocobo
I
cry.
felt like you kind of gazed off into the air for that one. Like that would be awesome. Like you were a little too into that idea.
I want to see
All
the
right.
Final Fantasy remake when the fucking eggs pop out and shit.
Oh,
You
jeez.
have to breathe
Oh
them.
no!
You
All
have to
right.
watch them
You just
breathe.
see the egg
Look
like
into their eyes.
Actual time, it's like days. Your life you have to spend on that.
God damn. All right, guys. So next topic we're gonna talk about. We have The Last of Us again. Last of Us remake is coming out for the PS5, and I myself personally don't see myself playing it. A lot of people are excited that the remake is coming out because literally they're making it from the bottom up. It's a brand new, fresh remake of the original game. I'm pretty sure it's been less than 10 years since the game has been released. At
Yes.
the very least, the first remake or like sorry, not remake, the remaster. So a lot of people right now are saying that the remake is a cash grab,
Nine
and
years. 9 years.
even the development team and the director right now is saying no, this is not a cash grab.
2006.
We very much we're very passionate about making the game, and the game we worked very hard on making this game. But my own personal argument about that is that you could still be passionate and very hardworking to make this game a perfect game. It still doesn't mean that it can't be a cash grab for those publishers or for those
Mhm.
people who are funding the game to try to make money out of it. So for me personally, games in general that are remakes, especially stuff that are so soon before like Last of Us has
10
not
years.
come out. Yeah, it's been less than 10
It's
years.
9 years.
Like
nine years on
this
the
is
dot.
a fucking cash grab.
Has been 10
And we talked about this before when it came to the
Show.
what
Director's
was
cut of Ghost of
the
Tsushima.
yes, the director's cut
No,
of
Death
Ghost of
Stranding
Tsushima
also.
and Death Stranding. We talked about it before too. It was like this is a fucking cash grab. Like there's no reason why you need to re-release a game that's already out just because it has a slight few new features that you can already add to the base game that's already out in the first place.
Just do more
So
filters,
so
dude.
you're releasing
You
a
got sepia.
you're releasing a brand new game, and most of the time it's a full $60 to $70. So, and mind you, this Last of Us remake is going to be $70.
70.
So I believe those are cash grabs. Like you can still be passionate about the game. Like developers in general are passionate about making the games regardless because they're making money out of it regardless, and they're making games which they love to do. But
Mhm.
those publishers, those companies that are funding to make the games, those are the people that are reaching into those cash grabs. So I'm not saying that I wouldn't look forward to a Last of Us remake. I'm not saying that this game is going to be bad. I am just saying that this is absolutely 100% a cash grab. And
It's also part 1, so they're
Yeah.
going down the
yeah,
Final Fantasy 7 route.
part 2 afterwards. Yeah,
Yeah.
And then part 3 remake because they didn't
So
even make
any
part.
any remake in
they're
general
gonna
is a
split
cash
part
grab.
2 into 2 parts.
Part 2,
Make it
part
epic.
1.
Part 2,
No,
part 1.
but
Yeah.
here's the thing that I that just boggles my
Wait,
mind.
I was
Hold
starting the
on. No.
statement.
Yeah.
Oh, you were? I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
just made a joke. I apologize.
God damn.
Go.
I know I've been missing for like 5 weeks, but
Yeah, I
like,
know, right?
hey guys.
We forgot he was on the show.
I
Yeah.
did.
I've kind of been playing on my phone anyway, so what is it? No, any remake, honestly, that's definitely fucking cash grab, but the sooner it is, the more blatant it is that it is that.
Mhm.
I'm actually kind of surprised that Naughty Dog isn't going for like Uncharted for a fucking remake at
Yeah.
least. Like
At this point, yeah.
yeah, no, I would, as much as I fucking hate the game, I
They
would
got
sooner
Tom
prefer to
Holland, a
see
Tom Holland model.
oh, a Maki Mak.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
What if they had skins for the remake? Just say.
They would do that.
You could play as Mark Wahlberg. That'd be
Yeah.
Yep.
nice.
But sorry. So what were
I
you
would buy
saying?
that. No, like as much as I fucking hate the series like of Uncharted, I would still prefer to see a fucking remake for that instead of fucking Last of Us, which is still fucking fresh off. They did the Last of Us 1, then they did Last of Us Remastered for
Mhm.
PlayStation 4, which was completely fucking unnecessary. Like you don't have to do that at all. Just re-release it on the PlayStation Now thing or whatever the case. Like make
Mhm.
it downloadable. And now with this, there's no need for it. If you have any other fucking game, like even Final Fantasy 7 remake,
But
that
you
is
get better
also a cash grab.
graphics. You get better graphics. And
Yeah,
they look so realistic and they look different and it's cool.
and also, what can they possibly do to remake the game? Like, what is
I
there?
don't know.
What story are they going to expand on that hasn't already been fucking done? Like, it's already a solid story in of
Yeah.
itself. Like, you're doing nothing. You're doing extra for nothing.
Yeah.
It's already just for the fucking name.
Yep. Can can
The
I can I
only
make?
thing I can
Oh,
I want to piggyback on what you're gonna say before. The only
Go
thing I
for it.
can think that they can do that's different is if they want to change something in the story to make it more like what's gonna happen in the HBO series
yeah.
to match. Because that's
That
what
would be so
But if
fucking
they
dumb.
how many
change the
years.
ending, that would
No, I'm not saying
ruin.
you might want to change it. Maybe they change something. It's like I'm a huge Neil Gaiman fan. I fucking love Neil Gaiman, right?
Yeah.
And the Sandman's coming out on
Yeah.
HBO
I'm
on
excited for
Netflix.
that.
Can't wait for that. I've I listened to audiobook, but I've heard the audiobook like 3 times already.
Mm.
The first and second Sam. Anyway, in when he redid the books and he redid the audio, he changed the characters. He changed John Constantine to be a woman. He changed all these people because that's how he originally wanted it. And then when the
Mm,
HBO show came out, it's like they've had the characters and people would bitch you. How dare you put Jane Constantine and not John Constantine? It's like, well, I always wanted it to be a woman, and I when I first wrote it, I felt bad and I wanted to change it later on, and I made this character and they developed this character, but it should have been a woman all along. Like I
mhm.
wanted these changes to be in it. So if they do that with Last of Us, and this is their reason, maybe that's the only thing I can see them changing.
That
I
does
would
sound
have
actually
I
kind of
but I
acceptable.
would have thought also if granted
I don't think
you
that's
could
the
still.
case. I really don't, but that I was just
No,
saying.
no, no, no. That makes complete sense though. But I could and I could understand that that's the route that they're possibly going, regardless of what the point that I'm trying to make right now is. But I would think that if they're trying to change things up to kind of match the HBO show a little bit, then they would use character models that would focus more on the look of the
Yeah,
actors.
yeah, you're
Mhm.
right. That would be cool. Are they? 'Cause we don't know. They haven't shown anything yet, though, right?
They look the same.
Oh, they do look.
Obviously a little bit more realistic, a little bit
Okay,
more detailed, but they're the same character models.
Yeah.
gotcha. They should have changed. That's like a to me. That's a lost opportunity. You could have changed the character models to at least resemble
Was
a
it
little bit.
Pedro Pascal? Was it?
Yeah,
Was that who it was for Joel?
yeah. And
Mhm.
the girl they picked look already does look like the girl.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
but they could have done a little bit more of a Pedro Pascal for the main guy.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
I
mean, yeah, go ahead, Kevin, because I know you wanted to say something before.
Yeah, we will
n-
cut you off. Yeah.
nah. The same way I see Last of Us doing it is the same thing our favorite franchise does, Capcom with Resident Evil 4. They're just gonna keep releasing it over and over and over again. There's gonna be a mobile. There's gonna be a
And
fuck
people
like that.
keep
That's
buying it.
buying it. They buy it, but that's the thing. That it's like if
Four is
somebody loves
a
it,
weird anomaly, though.
no. But for Resident Evil 4, I would say it deserves a remake. It doesn't just deserve multiple releases. Like a remake would be fine for it,
Yeah.
What?
especially like with
Not
with
That's
there.
content.
There is an HD remaster for almost every system for the past like 15 years.
Yes,
But
and
aren't they remaking Pro 4? Didn't
they
they
are
They
announce?
are, but that's
no
what
no no
Kevin is saying, that a remake would be
Oh,
better
I
than
see.
a remaster.
Okay, I gotcha.
because that's the issue that we're having. That it's like you say remake, you say camera touch up edition or whatever the fuck it is for Last of Us. It's like the game's only been out for 9 years. Give it some time. Let
Yeah.
people enjoy it for one more year, and then you decide like, oh, I want to make a remaster
and
for it.
and that's the thing, like a remake of let's say, for example, the initial original release of Resident Evil 4 came out, and we waited this whole long time for a remake. I would
Mhm.
be absolutely 100% excited, because
Yeah,
we've been waiting a long time for it. But the fact that
It's released every year.
that experience and expectation and that kind of like excitement for it has been diluted, because they have released remaster after remaster after remaster, and then there's a VR version, and it's just like those are cash grabs in itself as well,
yeah.
because you're still re-releasing the same old crap over and over again because people keep on buying it.
Mhm.
And now there's finally a remake coming out, and I'm not saying that this might be a bad game. I'm not saying that this
Gonna be
shouldn't
good.
be coming out. I'm just saying that I am not as excited because I've already played the game like 5 different times.
The thing I hate about remakes, it's the I would say the underhanded thing that they did. Especially like I was excited for Resident Evil 4 remake till I read the last bit of text and it was like a VR version is coming. I was like, "Yeah, are y'all fucking
Yeah,
serious? Are y'all
yeah.
serious?" It's like, "Oh yeah, it's coming with the game as well, day one." I'm like, "Bro, like we waited years for this. Y'all been throwing up the same garbage of the oh, where did they go? Bingo. Oh, blah blah blah." I'm like, Leon, I love you, but shut the fuck up. I'm tired of listening to you, even though I love this game so much. It's like the game is should have just been like base game, whatever it is, it comes out and that's fine. Last of Us, I hate it because one, I enjoyed the story till two spoiled one, not spoiled, but it soiled one for me that I didn't even want to complete the game anymore because
Part
I've already
two?
heard of part two ruined the
Mm,
whole franchise for me.
really?
And yes, and that's why I stopped playing one. I was in the middle of playing one. I was enjoying the game with someone
Wait,
else
why were you playing two before you even
because
beat one?
I played one and then I watched the story for I've heard the story for two and then I watched it and I was like, man,
Oh,
this
Well,
sucks.
that's like watching a
uh,
spoiler.
yeah,
That's
you
kind
No,
of
no,
just
your
no,
fault,
spoiled
no,
it
no, no,
honestly.
yourself. That's on
no,
Yeah,
you.
no. It was on
yeah.
me, but my thing is, I was expecting the story for Last of Us One was amazing. It's one of
Yeah.
those stories that I can't deny. The story is amazing,
Hmm.
but for the story to be like that to end the way it did, I was like, man, this
I
sucks.
mean, honestly, you could just do what I do, and it's like I played one, and as far as I'm concerned, there's only one game in the series, just re-released again and now being
Yeah,
remade.
yeah, no,
Part
that's how I took it. I was like, I'm just gonna finish one, and then just play that and enjoy it because I do wholeheartedly enjoy part one. But for it to be a remake after like
Stop
I'm
spoiling
playing the
shit for yourself, dude.
yeah, bro, I watch anime all the time. Spoilers is everywhere.
Stop spoiling shit for
Yeah, right.
yourself.
But that's the
You don't
thing that
have to
it's like
click it.
you don't, but Instagram is different. The audio
So
plays
you
before I
close the you
Yo,
close
I
the app.
tell
That's
you,
it.
when like Marvel movies come out, I avoid Twitter, I avoid Instagram until I see the movie.
nah, but that's what it was. And then it was like I saw, like what happens to Joel in part two.
In part two.
I'm not gonna do yeah, I'm not gonna do spoilers because we know what happens. That happening, I was like, man, that was my favorite character.
Yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
to play this game. It
I
so
I
happened.
I mean, they
honestly
had to pass the
called it.
torch
I
somehow.
honestly called it. Like I knew that shit was gonna happen, but at the same time, like it was so
It is what it is.
emotional.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I haven't
It, it
played it.
It
But
is what
Part
it
two.
is. But enjoy the
I haven't
story,
played.
man.
I haven't played any of them. I haven't played the one.
You ever played one? I thought you played one.
No, I never played the one.
Oh man,
I don't play like
One's really good.
a
it's
little bit.
really good, man.
It's really good. I
What
even
what
enjoyed that.
system did it come out for?
P4.
It
PlayStation.
was it was
No,
PlayStation.
PlayStation 3.
It was
PlayStation 3.
PS3. It was towards the
Yeah.
end of PlayStation 3, and then
Yeah.
HD on
I,
4. Yeah.
my PlayStation 3 was collected dust. Honestly, I didn't like it. So
Mm.
I was the Xbox man at the time. So here's my thing on
Hey,
it.
play it for
Yeah.
Obviously,
PlayStation
we're
4.
all on the same agreement where it's a cash grab. So that's like
Yeah.
obvious.
Obviously.
To me, it kind of baffles the mind because you got to think about it. The game came out in 2013. About I want to say maybe 5 years later, because it takes 4 to 5. It takes about 4 to 5 years to make a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's no, there's no doubt about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in 5 years later, probably in the development of either in the development or during the development of part two, they decide we're gonna make, and this is early development of part two. I'm talking about. They decide we're gonna make a remake of the first one. Like it doesn't actually make any sense to me
Yeah.
because the remake just came out last year. I mean, part two just came out
Even
last year.
even more of a point that it was a cash grab because they're just like, oh man, we got to piggyback on this success and keep the ball rolling. So let's re-release the game again.
But like, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't make any sense to have like the same team, the same development, everybody to work on two games that are exactly the same at the same time. Like it's just stupid. You're
Mhm.
making a sequel and a remake at the same time, and then you're gonna re-release the remake later. It's not like they started working on the remake after part two just came out. No, it doesn't. The
Even if
time
they
frame
did,
doesn't.
it would have been immediately.
It would have been. It would have to been super like. No, it can't even be immediate. Like for a big triple A game is usually 4 to 5 years.
Mhm.
Like it's just to me again, it just doesn't make any sense at all. So it's just the market on it is just stupid. And
You want
remakes, and I know remakes are fad to do right now, and it's probably probably when, especially when it was in development. So we can make more money of this fad of remakes, but remakes are for the people who are our age going, you have to play this fucking Resident Evil game. Oh my god, you never played Resident Evil? What's wrong with
And
you,
then the
kid?
young ones are like,
And then you
oh, that's
call up
too
your
old
kid play Resident
already.
Evil, and they go, "This is horrible," because it is.
Yeah.
It does play horrible. They do. They
Yeah.
play. If you go back and you play the original on how it was on the system, they play bad. They're super blocky. They're slow. They're kind of not that fun.
tank controls were
Yeah,
not
the
as fun.
tank, right?
Yeah.
So if you remake that game and bring it up to the modern day, have the same story, the same concept, the same basis, they're phenomenal, and you love it. The first reason, well, I love Final Fantasy because I loved the fucking Resident Evil remakes. Those are great. I fucking loved it. Scared
Yeah.
the shit out of me. Like they
Yeah.
were fun. They were very fun, especially part two. Because
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2 was my favorite fucking game. So
Yeah.
I didn't play the remake for part one. I touched a little bit, but I fucking played part two because I loved part two. And it brought you back, and it's like now you can go, yeah, okay, this is what I played back in the day. So that concept fits for older games. Like you have to have like this 15-year. I feel like you have to have like a 15-year rule on that. You know, like it
Yeah.
has to be something like that because otherwise, it's just a cash grab. It doesn't make any sense, and it shouldn't be a thing that profits because it's just an HD remake. You know, it's just an HD. This is not a full fucking remake. This is going to be kind of silly to me.
Yeah.
Granted, there
Mhm.
are a few people because maybe the PS3 didn't do as well as some people wanted it to, because that is a well-known fact that the PS3 did not do as well. So maybe they could be saying, "Hey, we know our game could have did better if it was released properly on a proper console and a new age console," but way too soon, super too soon.
Not
You know,
not only
and
that, it
like
was
even Uncharted, like what's his name said, that's 15 years. It came out in 2007. It's almost that's like 12, 13 years ago. If you tell me that in a few years you're doing a complete remake of that,
I was
yeah,
expecting
fine.
a remake
Yeah,
at least of the first one because of the fact that the movie was coming out, but they didn't even do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
the,
They didn't even do like an HD type of thing, no. But
nah, the
and it's just again, it's just this is just weird and silly,
They
and
they
it's just
did, however, do a one of those bundle things because
bundle,
yeah, there's an Uncharted like that comes with 1, 2, 3,
trilogy,
and 4. Well, quadrilogy actually.
quadrilogy.
Yeah, so I came out with all of them, and I think even the spin-off, the one with Nadine and what's her name? I think it even came with that one as well. It was
Yep.
I forget what the game was called, but it didn't feature Nathan Drake. It had the two women that was in it. But yeah, but I would think that's a little bit of a cash grab,
No,
kind of. I guess I don't know.
no,
Maybe not. Maybe not.
with Last of Us, I don't know. I felt like it is way too soon, especially because it's 3 platforms that game is on. Like it was on 3. It's on 3 platforms now, and it's like it takes you 3 platforms to be like, oh yeah, this game is actually really amazing on the highest
Yeah.
graphics, but everything. It's like saying, all
Yeah.
right, Watchdog was good.
And,
It,
and again, there are maybe a few. Like I probably will play this though. I'm not gonna lie, only because I never played the original, right? Because I never played the original, and people always talk about it. And it is one of those games. Like, damn, I kind of do wish I went back and played it, but I don't want to go back and play an older game. So, and at the
yeah,
same time, if you're telling me you're doing a remake, I'm like, I actually might play it only because I never played it before, and I can see it being good. But I don't think there are a lot of me out there like that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I don't think
yeah,
I can't be the fucking target audience for these
You're,
people. You
you're
know?
the best sober guardian.
yeah.
No, I'm just saying there aren't a lot of people that go, "Oh, I heard this game was so great," but I didn't like. Most people said, "Oh, the game was great." Let me fucking play the remastered version that fucking came out already on the PS4, like because they already have it. So
No, I'm gonna say wholeheartedly. I think after Resident Evil 2 remake was announced, every game can like. I know it was a thing that every game was doing a re-release or like a remake, a remastered. After Resident Evil 2 remake, every game that comes out remake, it was just like it
Well,
snowballed. It
here's
got
the
it was true in my
here's the thing though, like and I would still and I would completely agree if anybody considered Resident Evil remake 1, 2, and 3 to and even 4 to be a
yeah,
cash grab. I could understand
yes,
that because
yes,
those are previously released games and you want to be able to re-release them for new generations to play the game and
mm-hmm,
make money out of it because that's in the end we've mentioned this a
yeah,
million times. In the end, this is a business. They're here to make money. So they're
but it's
going to
not a
try to
but it's not a cash
well,
grab. It's just
here's the thing. Like I'm going to get to that. So here's the thing. So like they're here to make money and they're going to try to make money in any way possible.
mm-hmm,
So, yes, it's a crash grab in a sense, but at least they're not shoving it down people's throats every like 2 years or 3 years because they're re-releasing over and over and over again because they know they're going to force you to buy it or they know that people are going to buy it over and over and over and over again. So, like, the thing is that yes, they're trying to make money out of it, but I think our definition of what a cash grab really is that they're trying to take advantage of the consumers in the
mm-hmm.
sense that like they're really like saying like you consumers are stupid and you're going to buy this game again just because we put a fresh new coat of paint on it, especially
Because
because it just
consumers
came
are
out 9 years
stupid
ago. Yes,
and they are going
exactly,
to buy
they
the game
can be,
again
because
with a
that's
fresh
what
new coat of paint
happens.
on it.
I used to think back in the day like Muso games. Muso games, a lot of the time they used to get a
Warriors, yeah.
lot. They used to get a lot of crap because they all play the same way in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they
Yeah.
kept on rolling out with more Dynasty Warriors 3, Dynasty Warriors 4, Dynasty Warriors
Wait,
5.
Samurai
wait, wait,
It kept on
Warriors.
coming
wait.
over and over and over again.
Hold,
And
hold,
that is a cash grab because they know that demographic is still going to keep on buying the game. Hold on. And then the same thing like Mega Man. Mega Man has had a very rough decade, I would say, maybe even more
hold.
Oh
because
yeah.
because a lot of the time they come out with really bad games, but they keep on rolling them out almost every year over and over and over again. And why? Same thing with Sonic. Every single year there's a Sonic game, but people keep on
Okay.
buying it.
This is
And
the one. This is the good one.
so it's like these are cash grabs because they know that those consumers are still gonna buy those games and they're still gonna make money somehow in some way. So like a remake that comes out so quickly without any actual real passion towards it. The developers is one thing. Developers, they're going to make a passionate game regardless, but I'm talking about the people who are funding to make the game in the first place. They're just doing this because they know you're going to buy the game, it's going to make a quick buck, and they're going to move on to something else. That's what a cash grab is to me.
Nah, Dan, I'm gonna fuck you up for saying Muso. What you said 2, 3? You didn't even say Extreme Legends. Like, what's going
Dude,
on?
all
That's
of
an MVP
those,
game.
all of those games.
They are.
I
I can
stopped
vouch
playing
and say
Muso
that they
games
are.
since like Dynasty Warriors 3.
Bro, I have Extreme Legends on my PS2. Do not make me bring it out. But
But let's
they are.
not forget the like One Piece Warriors, the
Yeah,
Berserk game. That's a Muso
Even Call
game.
of
Hyrule
Duty. I would even
Warriors.
call Call of Duty
Oh
games
god, no, Call of
that
Duty's
Oh yeah,
dead.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a
semi-annual
fucking
or
cash grab.
semi-annual, every biannual Call of Duty game. I don't care. Like, it used to come out every single year. Those are cash grabs. Now they're
Oh, yeah.
coming out every 2 years. I still call it a cash grab.
Nah,
Modern Warfare 2 was where it peaked.
yeah. Black Ops 1 was where I stopped playing. Well, Black Ops 1's when I stopped playing the game in general. I just played zombies.
Yeah.
That's all it is. But like, I definitely agree. Muso games are just rinse and repeat.
Mhm.
I just like that some of them are different in the sense of like, oh yeah, in one game you can't. I would specifically say not Dynasty Warriors, because Dynasty Warrior, I don't know what the fuck it is now. But like Fire Emblem, specifically you can give orders to troops, which is I like that the difference.
Fire Emblem plays very differently, but the thing is with Fire Emblem is that they
I'm talking about the Muso game. I'm talking about the Muso game.
Oh,
The
okay,
Muso game,
okay.
you can give orders to units and you can send them, like, you can put an axe against a spear and you can send that specific unit to go fight that boss, so you don't have to run over there and then run somewhere else. I always enjoy the intricacies of different Muso games. And yeah, some of them do play the same. Once you find out a broken character, you just play the game with the broken character. You don't play with the regular characters, because you're trying to just beat the game. Because at that point, your brain started thinking like, I need to go to sleep, so let me just clear 30 missions in 10 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but Call of Duty for sure. Sonic, yeah, because the only one that I would say is different is Sonic Generations, but it's yeah, the cameras. It's off.
So,
But that's the only one that I would say it's different, but it's just like
that's the
so
thing.
many levels are different.
That's the thing with like Sonic games though. Like Sonic games, a lot of them are very, very different. They play very different. It's almost like they're trying to experiment in so many different ways to try to revitalize the franchise, and it never really works out. But it's just the fact that like almost every year, if not every other year, they would release a Sonic game with something a little bit different, and it just never worked because they kind of they're missing the mark of what a Sonic game is, because all they're trying to do is make money. All they care about is trying to make it stand out in a sense that like they want to make money out of it, but they're missing the spirit of it.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with that. I'm a big Sonic fan,
care,
but
though.
yeah, the fans don't care as long as
just give us a blue hedgehog and they're fucking all over.
Yeah,
it.
or like give us a
and those are the people who keep those franchises going though, and keep remakes from coming out, because they just buy the games and it's just like, oh my god, it's a fresh new coat of paint, or oh, it's a slightly tweaked game, like, and then they end up putting money into it, and then they keep things going.
You want to know when I realized I bought a game that it was the exact same thing? I bought Sonic Heroes, and that's when they introduced wall jumping, that you can jump from wall to wall. You could jump on the same wall back and forth, and your character would never get out of it. Then I played Shadow the Hedgehog. That game feels the exact same as Sonic Heroes, just you can shoot a gun. And I was like, this is terrible. This
Sonic
is
with a gun.
Shadow was good.
Sonic with a gun.
Yeah.
Shadow wasn't bad. It had really bad writing.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You're a robot, android.
Maria.
What? Yeah, that was bro. It was bad. Nah, but the gameplay, it felt slow. It didn't feel like, well, because he's Shadow. It makes sense.
He's not Sonic. Like,
yeah, but I expected him to travel faster. Motherfucker has skates. Sonic's running on skates. I expected skates. Rocket boots don't mean shit.
Rocket shoes. He propels himself. He's like.
So why isn't he flying like Iron Man? Shut up.
Don't ask me. Ask Sega.
That's Sega.
Sonic of War was pretty good.
Are there any cash grab type games you guys can think about?
Right now,
Resident Evil
no, not Resident Evil. I would say
4.
Galgun. Oh,
What?
fuck, Senran
How who
Kaguya.
the fuck
Senran
put
Kaguya is a
I don't
cash
know
grab. It's
what those are.
See, no,
the
here's the thing.
ticket.
Here's the thing. What a cash grab really is it's more like kind of fan oriented for sure because
Mhm.
those are people that are gonna buy it,
Yes.
right? The
Mhm.
Last of Us, I'm not gonna fucking buy that shit. I
Yeah.
didn't buy the second one. I literally just have the first one, not the remaster, not part two. I'm not gonna get the fucking remake, right? I like the game, but I'm not a fucking fan of it, so I'm not gonna shell out the $70 for it, right? Now,
Mhm.
the people that are super into that shit, they're gonna buy it. Those that are
Mhm.
super into Uncharted, if they do Uncharted remake, they're gonna fucking buy it. Those that are into Senran Kaguya, the fucking titty fighters, like Kevin, he's gonna buy that. He
Hell
has
yeah.
every fucking version of the game on every goddamn system it could fucking be on.
That's
I
how
sit on the.
that's how
And
you
that's a
keep
cash
that
grab for
trend
him.
going though.
Yeah.
Like you those fans who like the Last of Us game and they end up buying the actual remake for it because they're such fans of it. It's just like
You,
you're spending $70 on the same game. Danny, I could understand because
If
Danny
they
never
did
played the game.
no, yeah, but that's a different thing. Again, it's just the fans that it's a cash grab for. If you're not a fan, it doesn't technically count as a cash grab. If Destiny 1 remake comes out and you
No,
fucking go for that.
I
No, I'm saying
would
if you
not.
go for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like it's catered to those that are like super fucking into it. Oh, Destiny 3, fucking it could be the same
Yeah.
exact
And
thing.
honestly,
And it will be the
yes.
same exact thing, but people will fucking go for that. Will
Yes, I
I?
agree.
Hell the
I
fuck no.
agree, yeah.
But you certainly will be all over that like flies on shit.
No,
and
I personally wouldn't, but because Destiny has such a huge fan base, yes, I could understand millions of people would be buying the game.
you
Yeah.
know you know what I just
Same with Call of Duty,
realized.
as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what I just realized recently. Um, if you take too long to make a new version of the game or a remake, it also is a problem. A perfect example. You know that they just recently announced Xenoverse 3 is in
Yes.
development.
Yeah.
How long has Xenoverse 2 been out?
5
But
years,
it doesn't
maybe?
stop being no,
Less?
Xenoverse 2
No,
has been out for quite a
no,
Less?
while.
it's been no.
Xenoverse 2? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh
Xenoverse
my
2.
god. I don't know why I'm thinking Xenoblade. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Xenoverse. Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's a Xeno.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Xenoverse been out for a while. They've dropped so much DLC, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like the fans at this point for Xenoverse 3 have been salivating
Yeah.
for years. And I'm like, okay, they made their money from Xenoverse 2 to make Xenoverse 3. And I was like, okay, that's cool. But they made us wait like 10 years.
Mm.
Xenoverse 2 has been out for like 10 years. And I'm like, that's a long time to keep one game alive. And then I like that point, I was like, okay, if it's a new game, like a third part, that's fine. But if it's 9 years to
Yeah.
make the exact same game, get that shit away from
But that's the thing. Wait, so do you think Xenoverse 3 is
I
the
mean,
same game?
no, Xenoverse 3 is going to be a completely different game,
So
probably different.
and
But that's what I'm expecting
and
it to be a different game.
that's what I would appreciate though, because if they took their time perfecting Xenoverse 2, with patches and DLCs and all this extra options and stuff like that, they put care into a game. And then when they
Yeah.
release a third part or a second part or whatever, when they release a sequel, at least I wouldn't consider that a cash grab because that is them just moving on to something better and they learned from the previous iteration of it.
No, that's what I
Yeah,
was saying.
because
That I,
honestly, they could have done Xenoverse 3 way fucking earlier with all the DLC
hmm
that they've been releasing, but it would have been released soon and it wouldn't be as polished.
Yeah.
Xenoverse 2 is still gonna be their template. It's still gonna be it's their
Yeah.
best one and the one with the most content. And with that, it's gonna be, how do we polish this? How do we make this a lot better? How is like what moves are gonna be broken? What moves are not? Okay, if we're not gonna patch it on 2, we're definitely gonna fix a lot of things on 3.
and that's something that it's like I look forward to when it's a third part of the game is what did they touch and what did they didn't touch. It's you want to see the differences from the first and the second game.
Right.
I mean the
Oh,
first, second,
you
and
do
third game.
see the
Yeah,
differences in 1 and 2. Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2 are 2 totally different fucking
and
beasts.
they look completely different. They
Yeah.
don't they have the same similarities with like so I would say some of the animation, like the actual animations in the game, but the move sets is completely different. There was fucking Xenoverse 1 was busted. But 2
Yeah,
was
this one's
it was
good.
it was busted depending on how you build your character. And that's like I want to see what they do in 3. Like, how many more races do we have? Can we actually be a modern woman? Like, can we be like Android 21? Can we like how much stuff can you put into the game? But that's a sequel. That's not a remake. If they remake Xenoverse 1 or 2, I'm not
That
buying
would
it.
be a cash grab.
That
Yeah,
would be a
for
cash
sure.
grab.
Yeah.
Dragon
would-
Ball Z Xenoverse 2 remake
it's-
part
But
1.
you know, the biggest cash grab came out in a while.
Huh?
The biggest cash grab that I think that's come out recently.
Devil May
That
Cry.
no fucking House of the Dead remake.
Oh yeah, that was a cash grab. And 2's coming out. That's a definite cash
Yeah.
grab.
Like
Yeah.
there's nothing. If you
All
told me it was
remakes.
a
You don't need that
remake,
type of game in a
All
fucking get it.
remakes
console.
are cash grabs.
That
That's
the
it.
type of game is not a console game. That's an
Yeah.
arcade game. Play it for fucking for
Hey,
memory.
they have
That's
Time Crisis for the
only
console.
fun in the arcade.
Same thing. I would still agree.
That's
It would be a cash
pure
grab.
fuck.
Those belong in
pure-
arcades.
No, they have Time Crisis for a console. Like they literally
But
have it on. Like,
that's what I'm
PS4.
saying. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Those are cash grabs just the same because those are meant to be big, grand arcade games, and
Yeah,
you're
but
putting it
also,
in a
like-
small ass TV in a console.
Yeah, but also like, you can at least play it in your fucking living room. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go to the movie theater all the time just to play fucking. Oh, Time Crisis. Sorry, that was a weird burp.
Fallout 76 was
I don't have
also
arcades here.
was a fast grab that fucking crashed.
No, it's a cash grab. It wasn't a.
It was a crash grab, yeah. But
Crash grab.
even if
Crash
it worked, it would have been a crash grab because it wasn't a real fucking game. You know, it was feeding off the popularity of the Fallout that happened. That people loved the last Fallout game. Everybody they raved about it. It's so and it was fun. It was really fun.
Which game we're talking about?
Fallout
46.
76?
And
Okay.
then, and then like a few years later, they announced, "Oh look, Fallout 76 is coming." We're like, "Wait, didn't that one just come out?" Like, yeah, but this is all this creature.
This is
No,
this
it's
is
like
an
that.
MMO now.
You
Yeah,
build the world.
Then you play and like, oh, this is a horrible.
You know
cash grab.
what though?
Build
You know
your own world. We don't build the game.
In one sense I disagree with you. I completely agree that 76 was the cash grab, but I don't think it was a cash grab because they were trying to like do the same thing. I think they were truly trying to make a more community-based experience. I do think that they were trying to make it more multiplayer oriented. But the thing is that I think it was a cash grab because they did that game so fucking quickly and so half-assed. And there was almost no love, no consideration
because
put into
the game
that
was supposed
game
to do the
because they exactly because they rely so much on all the Fallout games and all the Elder Scrolls games, especially for the PC community, to come out with all these mods, to come out with all these extra options and stuff like that in order to make the game better. So like when 76 came out and it was only them that made that shit, and it was just such a half-ass game because they already knew that the fan base was gonna buy this. They were gonna go at this so quickly. They were gonna throw their money at them because it was a Fallout game, that they didn't give a shit about what the game was, how they developed it, what was in the game. That was a cash grab in that sense.
They No Man's Sky it. That's the thing.
I have another huge fucking money cash grab.
Wait.
No doubt about it.
Before you start, Dan, I'm gonna have to disagree with you with saying that 76 wasn't. It was a cash grab. It was the sense of didn't 76 also have loot boxes?
Did they?
Oh,
I don't think they did.
No, they have
Yes,
microtransactions.
Did they? I never played it. I've never played it.
And that's why I didn't play it, because I was like, this is literally cash grab. Like I can dismiss that 76. I mean, Fallout itself is that, but once I saw that and then I saw Ubisoft, I was like, yeah, nah, that's different. It's not love. It's all about getting in your pocket as much as we can and then pulling out what we can walk
I
away
mean,
with.
I do remember that they had released that stupid $100 membership. Like that was insulting for players.
Let me pay $60 and then get $100.
And then $100 on top of that, just to be like a gold member or whatever the fuck that membership was.
Did it.
And people still did it. Man. So Danny, yeah, you were gonna say another one?
The biggest one, and as soon as you even hear it, you're like, yeah,
That'd be a big one.
You never have to play it. It's like, yeah, it's a cash grab. Is Diablo Immortality? I think it was called.
Oh, yeah.
Diablo Immortal.
Yeah, Immortal.
The phone game.
As soon as the phone
Dude,
game,
in order to get everything in order to get everything in the microtransactions, in order to max out your character, I think it was, what did it say? It was like 10 grand, maybe more.
Yeah.
I think it was like 10 grand you had to spend.
Yeah.
That's not a cash grab. That's armed robbery.
Nah, the
You're
game's armed
getting
robbery.
mugged.
And you can grind for it. It just takes
Yeah,
like years and shit.
it'll take a
But
long time.
How
you
long?
technically can grind for it, but it's the years and years. It's a pure. As soon as I heard that that game was coming on to the phone for free, I'm like, haha,
The
that's the
the
fun.
funny thing is that
The fine print.
the funny thing is
It's
that
fun though.
it's getting good reviews. It's getting very good
It
reviews.
is
It
fun.
plays very well.
Yeah,
Just
it's
people
fun.
still feel like they're insulted with the fact that so much of it is just microtransactions.
So fucking much.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe how many
Oh,
microtransactions.
but see, here's the
Like
thing, though. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing,
I've
though.
seen League of Legends and shit has way less fucking
Yeah.
microtransactions in this game.
And it's
It's so
cosmetic
fucking
shit though.
funny. It's not just cosmetics.
No,
I wish it was
for
only
no, I'm talking
League of
for
Legends.
League of Legends, yeah.
The League is cosmetics and new characters, but they have a lot of other like the whole like season system and get chests and get items and get up or whatever. They have a
Yeah.
lot of bullshit. But this was fucking unlike they have like I think they have like 4 different currencies, right? That you have to buy. It's not like currencies that you get in the game. I
And
think there's
there's
only like
no
one currency and I
guarantee.
have no idea what you use the main currency for. I played it when I'm on the shitter sometimes, and and I'm pretty high level. No fucking idea what you use the main currency for. I haven't found any place to use the main currency. So
So,
fucking weird.
quick question. You could still max out like for free, right? Like the game, you don't need to
It would
buy.
take a long time.
Okay, that's fine. But here's the
Oh
thing. Here's the
wait.
thing. Hold
Okay.
on. No, wait,
No,
wait,
no,
wait,
no,
wait, wait,
no,
wait.
no. There's
Okay.
not.
There's not
There's
what?
there are the higher level, the high level jewels you cannot get unless you get a certain item that you're only able to get from a loot box.
Yes.
And the only way you can get it from a loot box is if you buy it.
Yeah.
Randy, that's like in Xenoverse. I mean, in Dokkan, remember the red dragon crystals that you only get either if you buy or like a random
Yeah,
event.
but here's the thing, though. Those are entirely optional. It's not
Yeah,
I can't
But
say
if
that's
you're
a cash
looking
grab.
to
No, but
max out your
Max,
character though.
yeah. And you can't do the highest level content without having a max character.
yeah.
The
all
true end
right.
game.
Also, when it comes to thing, I guess, but the thing with the cash grab though is that it's like they're not holding a fucking gun to your head.
No.
If the game is free, you have the content there. You have the option to not buy it. Now, for like remakes and shit, if you want to play the game and access all of it, you have to shell out the $70. That's an
Yeah.
actual cash grab. The
Mhm.
other one, it's kind of just like that. That's your own free will. Like you have the
I
option to do it or not.
I'll give you that.
Microtransactions are very different from
I'll give you
what
that. I
remakes
would
are.
so if
I realize that we're kind of throwing the phrase cash grab out willy
yeah, yeah,
nilly
yeah,
as
yeah.
like yeah, it
Here's
is
the
the word
thing.
of the
Here's the
day,
thing.
but
I would change the cash grab terminology for Diablo, but I would definitely exchange it for predatory.
no, for sure that's predatory by all means. Most crash grabs are, but this microtransactions are especially worse than these kinds of things.
Yeah.
Like you're not forced into buying them. If you want to continue and you want to go on to that max level, by all means, fucking more power to you. Go ahead and fucking pay for
I
it.
wonder I
But if
wonder
you're
if
happy where you
Diablo
are, what's
Go
up?
ahead. I was gonna say, I wonder if Diablo Immortal, like Danny saying it's a cash grab. I wonder if Diablo Immortal was released and all these ridiculous microtransactions are out because they need this phone game
The money.
to fund Diablo 4.
I just looked up how long it takes to hit max level, and it's up to 24 hours, and that's consistent
game,
play.
the
Yeah,
game's not the immortal the level aspect is not hard to level up to the max level. It's only like 50 or something like that. And I'm 30 and I played like 4 hours maybe total. Like it's not hard. That's not the point of the game. It's always the end game part. The farming aspect to get the best armor. In order to get the best armor, we need the best jewels. And then, to equip it so you can get max stats.
Yeah,
That's always what Diablo games always were.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but also with microtransactions, I feel like if you're not gonna actually invest your full time into it, where it's like years down the line, you're gonna see yourself playing this, there's no need to partake in those at all. Like for Dokkan, I'm not gonna fucking lie. Like I do spend money on that game because I've
yeah.
been playing that for literally 5 fucking years. Like since I was 20, I have been playing this game, and it's one thing that I keep on dedicating to. Now, if I start to play Diablo Immortal and I get to max level, yeah, I'm gonna want to play the end game shit. But at the same time, it's like, am I gonna play this next year, or is this just like for this month that I'm playing it? And because it's gonna be this month, I'm gonna be like, you know what, fuck it, I don't have to do it.
You know,
You
it's
know?
funny. I feel the same way when it comes to Bleach Brave Souls. I've been playing Brave Souls since
Gosh.
the game released.
Mm.
Yeah.
Since the game
Yeah.
released, and it released on PC, PlayStation. I think it's going to release on Xbox eventually. But I've been playing that game since day one, and
Free on Steam.
it's free on Steam. I definitely can say that I've wasted. Nah, I've spent, because I want to say wasted. I spent close to $500 on Bleach alone.
Here's the thing.
Before I
Don't ask me
what?
about League.
Don't ask. Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
Don't ask
Randy
me
was
about
gonna.
League.
that's the
I
thing.
don't know. I
So
know where you were going. I know
here,
where you're gonna go with that. Don't
he,
ask me about that.
here's the thing, though. Like to make Kevin's point and for Randy's point, actually, now that you mentioned League, is that everyone has their own vices. Everyone has
Oh, for sure.
something that they're gonna spend money on like that.
Mhm.
Because for me, obviously, mine
That's
is
me.
yes. I have spent at least $1,000 on microtransactions. Like for
Yeah.
like granted it's in a span of I think it's been 8 years now that it's been out. Like but at least a
Expanding from 1 to 2,
thousand.
right?
Yeah, one part one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
It's
part one,
collective.
part one, they didn't have microtransactions till the end of its life cycle, but definitely part two.
You still partook in one at
Oh yeah,
least,
yeah,
I'm
definitely,
assuming? Yeah.
definitely, definitely. So like,
Yeah.
so at least with part two, like I have spent at least $1,000 on microtransactions, and like I'm taking my shot right now too because I mentioned it. But like everyone has their own thing, and that's where these blue whales come from. That's where these people come from, where like they'll buy these microtransactions without giving it a thought because they're
Mm.
such huge fans on it and they just want in. Sometimes it's FOMO, fear of missing
If
out.
you're missing
But
out, yeah.
sometimes it's just because I want to support them, or this is so fucking cool. I'm gonna buy this or whatever. But
You,
it is what it is.
you know what I find so funny about that? Dragon Ball Legends has just released UI Goku, actual UI like Ultra Instinct Goku,
Oh,
as a
okay.
character.
Yeah.
So he has a living legend means like when they do their super and their like the enemies like health is low, they do like a whole cinematic relating to like the anime or whatever.
Yeah.
Does he ski?
That yeah, he skis on you. But it's
Nice.
like the love that they put to these characters is always what I love so much about. I think that's what gets me. That's what hooks me because I follow them on Twitter and every time they like, oh, we're gonna release this character, they will show a showcase of their movements, their specials, and everything, and that's how they hook you in. I realized that I spent on Legends. I think I spent maybe like 2 to 300 on Legends alone.
Mm.
Uh, and I was like, I don't regret it, but then I do regret it when I look at my bank statement. He's just like, bro, I'm hurting. I'm hurting here. You just spent
Yeah.
$120 on a character you didn't
The
get
thing,
or you
the
got
thing,
twice.
the thing is that like
He gets
you don't even notice it sometimes. Because like for me, for example, when I spent all this money for the game,
Oh, dude,
like
sometimes I hate you
it's
with these
20,
sales.
it's $20 like every like 3 months, or maybe $50 every like 3 months. Like it's not like I spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars within like a month or two. Like it's 5, 10, 15, $20 every here and there. So sometimes you don't notice it. You don't realize how much you're spending.
Yeah, it
Bro,
just stacks up little by little, little
Yeah.
by
nah,
little. Because
Yeah.
the thing
nah.
with Dokkan is that every single time that they have a new banner, which is like almost every 2 fucking weeks, they
Yeah.
reset the sales so that some of them end up being like $7, and they give you 3 chances to do those. Now with that, it's $21 for those three in total, and then they have other ones that are just like, oh, instead of it being like $35, we're doing it for 15, and it's like, well, yeah, it's kind of a saving right there. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll dip my toes in that one this one time, and then
You,
like 2
yep.
months down the line, I'll do it again or whatever. Let me tell you, so for Dokkan, it's a really heartbreaking story. I've been playing it for 5 years, and I've had 3 accounts because I fucking didn't back my shit up in the first one and the second one. Um,
Foolish.
oh, no, yeah, no, foolish for sure. But yeah, that those two feel like a waste. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like a waste because I did enjoy my time playing
Yeah.
those first 2 accounts, and
I've
yeah,
I
pain.
find. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, no, that's it. Just pain.
Yeah, pain indeed.
Edo Tensei.
I think I got into playing Dokkan because of Randy and his experience with it. So I was like, fuck it, let me try it. I've been playing Legend, so like that's when I play Legend and I get bored, I go straight to Dokkan to get a character. But the thing I always hate about microtransaction, well, what is it? These are gotcha games.
Yeah.
Is that
Oh
when
yeah.
you pay when you pay for it, and this always seems to happen. Either I have the luck of the draw, or it's just like the developer playing with my soul. Is that
Oh, fuck you!
what?
You got sparking all the time in Legends,
No,
dick.
no, 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 no. Because what happens is you get those sparkings, and then like when you start getting characters, when you pay, that's when you get the character you want. That's what
Oh,
always seems to happen
uh,
to me. Like I would
no,
pay.
that's
Like,
debatable.
is it? It
Yeah,
depends on the luck
because
of the
no,
draw.
because for Dokkan, I haven't paid in like a month and a half, I think. And I've been using free stones, and they recently came out with a new Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta card, and
Oh,
I ended up pulling that one, and it was all just free gems, like the top ranking one in the fucking app store, so you get 100 gems off of that shit. Whatever I stocked up from like before and whatever, because I started hoarding some of the gems, like waiting for the 7th anniversary event,
now the 7th anniversary event, I'm tight because I wanted to pull what
the
it was
movie one.
in, yeah, the movie, the Berlin,
Yeah,
the
that
Super
one's
Saiyan,
good. That one's
yeah,
really
Super
really
Saiyan,
good.
the Super Saiyan gods. I
Yeah.
wanted to pull them, and I spent not actual money, but the game currency. I spent like I think 300 gems, and I still didn't get them.
Oh,
400, and I was stressed.
that's funny. You
But I think
fool.
it, yeah, exactly, foolish,
Also,
Kevin,
another thing that
foolish.
gacha games do is that they have the whole like beginner pulls, like when you when you're fresh into a gacha game, or if you don't play for a bit, and then the welcome back ones, like the drop rates kind of increase, so you get like really good shit.
Mhm.
So it kind of tickles that little addiction part where it's like, oh, I got these really good things. What if I like shell out some
Psychology.
money and I could get yeah, no, of course,
Yeah.
and so I could try to get these things as well. And then the ones with the gems that you were talking about, those are like you get 100 fucking dragon stones and a gem that could get you a character that's like really low chance of dropping or whatever. And it, yeah,
It's
Yeah.
gacha
it's
games are
never,
funny with
yeah,
like what
yeah,
is
but
it, near? I'm
near
still playing
near.
near. I
Why
just
are you
haven't
still
spent any money.
playing that?
I'm
I
sorry, not
have
replicant. Reincarnation.
Yeah, yeah,
oh
That's
the
what.
yeah. I know
mobile,
what you
the
meant though.
mobile.
Yeah. The
Oh no, I
reincarnation.
started playing again because
Oh,
even Exvius. I
jeez.
started playing Exvius again. But I'm not spending money on the Final
XP
Fantasy
is it? Oh,
gacha.
Final Fantasy. Yeah, right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
So I started playing Brave Exvius. I have a fucking shit ton of NVs because they're doing the 6th anniversary thing, and I also got the welcome back drops. Then when I was doing
I'm
near
surprised none of us have touched First Soldier.
I don't got time.
Fortnite, Final
Final
Fortnite
Fantasy.
C.
Yeah.
Fantasy night.
That
Fantasy night.
Fantasy Night. Um, no, and then for near they were doing a Final Fantasy 14 crossover event that
Oh.
I ended up getting the Dragoon Lance as a weapon, and I'm like, sure, fuck it,
Oh, that's
I'll do
cool.
this.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't get any of the characters from the thing, but I still had fun with it. And the stories are just as sad as they are in fucking Replicant
God
and
damn.
Automata.
So
It's depressing as all shit.
So we can continue the discussions that we're having right now. I'm gonna end the
Wait,
episode so that way we
can I
have the audio version of it. What's up?
can I just mention one more thing?
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this. This could be a short conversation. Have you guys known that Death by Daylight has an
Dead by
Attack on
Daylight.
Titan? Yeah, it has an Attack on Titan crossover.
Oh, so that
Oh,
was
that's sick.
real?
It was real.
I thought that was a meme you were sending
No,
me.
that was legit real.
Dude, that is
I haven't checked the group chat in
ridiculous.
forever. I don't know what you're talking
No,
about.
he sent it to me on Twitter.
Oh, okay, cool.
I
Oh,
also sent
jeez.
Randy a Kingdom Hearts meme. It was they modded Final Fantasy VII to have Cloud use the Kingdom Key. I sent that to Randy.
Yeah,
I was like, I was like, now he's gonna
I
play
know he'd
Final
be down
Fantasy
for it.
Remake.
And then I messaged back to him. I was just like, nah, I'll play it once Cloud gets a Sora skin.
True,
But
true,
so
true.
so all right. So
Yo, send
listen,
me this fucking Attack on Titan thing.
I
we'll
got you.
we'll still oh shit. We'll still continue the stream right
I
now.
think Sober fell asleep.
We'll steep on going. No, he's there.
No, I'm still here.
Oh,
We'll
he's just
keep on
playing with himself.
we'll keep on continuing the stream right now. So we'll keep on talking and talking about the topic that we're sticking on right now. But for the audio listeners, we're gonna end the episode right now. Thank you guys for listening, and we appreciate everything. Keep in touch. Keep listening to the show. We're going to be changing our content a little bit. Randy, I got to talk to you about that actually. So we're gonna be changing our content a little bit towards the
Am I in
future.
trouble?
Nah, not well. You're fired. That's all it was. Yeah, you're fired.
Oh,
That's it.
that's fun. No call,
No.
no shows, right?
So so yeah. So I appreciate everybody for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next episode soon. All right, I will see you. Bye bye.